I watch TikTok. Yo, throw an emoji up if you watch TikTok. I watch TikTok. I got a TikTok.
Wait a minute, where'd the 100 emoji go? What did they do?
What I meant to tell y'all.
I know, right?
Yeah, I meant to tell y'all. Sorry, that's a good segue. So, if you guys look at your emojis, you will notice that Twitter Spaces has done an update to all the emojis. They got rid of the fist emoji and they got rid of the 100 emoji, which is crazy because those were the ones that we use the most.
How does
and then they gonna do that in the middle.
I haven't updated my app.
Yeah, he didn't update his app. That's why he still has it.
That's not right. How you gonna take the fist down the middle of Black History Month? Boy,
that don't make no sense. But yeah, but they replaced it with the hearts and the clapping emoji. So there's that. We have those emojis now.
That shit is whack.
Yeah, I don't like the heart, but it's Twitter, so what are you gonna do? So yeah, that's wild. But
the link is live. I mean, just gonna throw that out there.
Oh, the link is live.
We out here.
All right. I'll be out there in a second too. So I put a tweet out there as well. So put an emoji up if you guys think that Jordan should let his hair grow. Matter of fact, put a heart.
Nah, hell no.
And then put the clap emoji up if he should cut it.
Yo, I want to see what you bare as hell, bro. Clap 1, 2, heart. Thank you.
Did he say clap 1, 2? Okay, you know what?
Yeah, I'm counting them.
Okay.
Yep. Just 2.
I need to get
3.
Yeah, let me get some water.
Beasto, I don't know who you are, bro, but that's messed up. That's not
wow.
me.
So
that's not me.
Is there a nice way to ask this? Because like I want to. Never mind.
Go ahead, ask it.
So there's a reason I don't grow my hair out, and it's not because it doesn't grow. It's because the middle looks like Pangea. How does yours look on in the front? Can you grow?
So it doesn't grow.
Well, the line is fire, but it's in the middle.
Only niggas that got fucked up hairlines can talk about my hair, and then Jerlease is now to clip that shit. Listen, man, relax. Everybody relax.
Yo,
Jerlease,
we want you to relax on the idea of growing your hair out, but you're not listening. So
I'm very.
Apparently, Jerlease has her answer for you in case you haven't seen it.
Jerlease told me to cut it all. But listen, this is all I'm saying. My hairline looks like Mount Rushmore, all right? All the heads are on top of my scalp. Like, the shit is terrible. But, it is what it is.
There it is.
It is what it is.
While you doing all that, can you tweet the link, Jordan, so that we can...
Yeah, I'll tweet the link.
Thank you.
There you go.
Because I can't figure much more out until I start correcting.
My goodness.
All right, airing the grievances. Because let me tell y'all something. Y'all motherfuckers ready? Hey, guys. What's going on, people? I have a problem with biting my tongue. I don't know if you guys realize this, but I don't say half of the shit that's on my mind. And Twitter does this thing where it allows people to comment forgetting who I am. And I made a comment yesterday because I'm tired of getting my feelings hurt that it's time for me to retire. And that's also why I'm here today. I'm actually here to put myself on a podium and retire. But yeah, Jordan, you need to cut that shit. Somebody was like, nigga, we don't need you no way. Bounce. When I said that I was retiring. And I was just like, I had to look because I'm like, let me look at the little egg emoji. Do you follow me? Do I follow you? No. I was just like, you motherfuckers be bored. Like, y'all just be picking fights for interactions. And I guess my errand of grievances is, do y'all people really not have friends? Like, do y'all really have to do this so that people interact with you on social media?
You'd be surprised, man. For a lot of people, social media is all they have out here. Like, for real. Like, y'all please give me wait, the 100 emoji is gone. I guess put a heart emoji up. If y'all have encountered a weirdo on this app, anybody in the audience, if you've encountered some kind of weird ass person on this app, some weirdo that had a dumbass take or wasn't listening to what you had to say or felt a way about an opinion you had and wanted to make you feel like your opinion was wrong or some dumbass shit like that, please put a heart up because you see all these hearts going up right now, Legend. There you go.
Duh, this nigga said, what side you at? And I finished it 9. He was like, oh, you gonna send me all your shit for $10? Nigga, like, somebody tried to ask for all my passwords for $10 the other day because I had tweeted that I didn't feel like paying for whatever Bel Air is on. Peacock. I was like, I got too many of these services to pay for. I said, I got this, I got that. And I was just saying it because it was frustrating me that all of these apps are starting to cost as much as cable. Some dude was like, I got $10.99 for you every month for all the passwords. First of all, where the fuck did $10.99 come from?
What?
I'm going to find this. I got $10.99 for all the passwords. I'm like, first of all, I don't even know. we don't even follow each other. Bro. Like, wow.
Legend, I got you. We'll talk in the back now. I got you.
That's love. I don't have Peacock either, by the way, man.
I got you.
I'm sick of these street apps.
We'll talk.
Yeah, but first of all,
I got Peacock, but I don't got y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
I watched the first episode of.
I told y'all, I told you.
Hey, that first episode of Bel Air is fire. My God, except for the fact that they, never mind, they messed.
Oh, it's like the sneaker thing.
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched anything. What are y'all doing?
Okay. It's on Twitter.
The sneaker. It's just a sneaker thing. It's just a sneaker
I've
thing.
been dodging it left and right, even on TikTok. I be scrolling.
You'll see it.
Well, instead of scrolling on TikTok, how about you just watch it?
Damn.
You just said you
Hey, man. Y'all need to watch Abbott Elementary too. If y'all are not watching
Fire.
it's a great show.
fire show.
That show is fucking hilarious.
It's the Black Office.
Call it the Black Office. Don't do that. Don't discredit the show by calling it the Black Office.
Not the Black
I just know Jordan was gonna be triggered by.
I hate when people do that, bro. It's discrediting the whole girl's vision of the show.
You are 100% correct. That's just like when people be like, "Oh, this is the poor man something."
That's
What?
where it's filmed.
Oh, here she go.
Philly.
Oh, they're filming it in Philly? I didn't realize they filmed it in
Some
Philly.
of it's in Philly, some of it's not, but it's
based in Philly.
That's where she's from, right?
That's
She's
why they
from
talk about
Philly.
tasty cakes and shit.
That's
Yeah.
dope. That's dope.
Amazing.
That's dope. That's really dope.
Well, when they were shooting Power, they was definitely doing some in Queens, specifically where I'm from, literally down a block where I used to live, and it was lit.
Let's go. Queens get the money, Key. Let's go.
You already know.
Wait,
We got Wakanda.
wait a
We
minute.
have Wakanda. You hear me?
Yo,
Wakanda, nigga. I
Atlanta,
don't want to hear shit else, nigga.
Tip definitely called that shit Wakanda. Even though old girl on the music video definitely was like, Clayco is not Atlanta. Lawrenceville is not Atlanta. Y'all seen that video? Yo, she said everywhere is not Atlanta,
Hey,
bro.
she made me with her Kyle Pitts jersey. She looked fire in there.
Yo, she
I
was
just
not
wanted to
great.
say she had, if I don't know, I kind of maybe missed it, but she had a StockX tag on some all black.
She did.
Definitely.
Y'all
She
see that?
definitely did.
And
Spread
I
everything.
just, that's like an egregious. I didn't care what she was saying. I just
Actually,
got your
nasty.
hair all black.
you know what I thought?
Nasty work.
What I thought when I saw that, I was like, she wanted to choose violence that much that she couldn't wait to find the shoes. So she was like, I'm just gonna get them. That's how you knew she was gonna do violence in that video.
What shoe was it? Because all I saw was the bottom of it in the StockX tag.
Black Air Force One mid, maybe.
Yeah, it was an all black Air Force One. I don't know what cut, but it was an all black Air Force One.
She did it. She fucked up 2 times.
I know y'all lying.
2
Go,
times.
bro.
One,
We
having a
gonna
black
find
Air
this
Force
week.
One, and 2, having that fucking tag on.
Big violation.
Yeah, with
Jordan went
violence.
viral trying to tell y'all not to wear that damn tag.
His face was like, what I do this time? He cussing somebody out right now. I see a situation, so it's something until I get done. That's the face Jordan making right now.
Damn.
Nah, not at all. He chilling. He just got home.
So do y'all okay, so before we get into the main topic of the night too, so real quick, especially because I'm sorry. First thing we have to make sure we acknowledge this as well. I need everybody to put an emoji up for the young prince's birthday, our very young Proto Douglas, aka Nate. It's his son's birthday today, turning the big 1. So I need lots of emojis and lots of love to one of the cutest kids in sample size. Happy birthday to the young king, brother.
Super facts. And that nature on me, but that birthday photo that you put up with the cake, fire.
He had the wood in there, like he was shooting.
Okay.
That was cute. Mad cute.
Yeah, my nigga already got the follow through going. You know what I'm saying? We going straight to the top.
Okay, hello, ma'am.
We're taking him as this is an 18-year
Okay, hold
agreement.
on. So as of
Then
right
we get a
now,
trial deal in the
the
house.
returns
That shit, I
department,
don't know what else to do with it.
they
You don't make
actually
it grow
closed
like the nigga might as
this
well.
is 2 hours
I mean, y'all
ago,
can use them right now.
so
bro.
we would need to verify
Use
it
what?
with them.
Another
They
player.
will
Y'all
be back
niggas.
in the
What's that
office
supposed to mean?
on Monday
That's
morning.
exactly what I
I
just
believe
said.
at 9
Am I getting
a.m.
slandered by somebody on an active
Is it
losing streak to
possible
the
you can
office?
give us a call back then?
I've never heard people talk about regular
Okay.
season
All right.
games. Like, what?
Yes,
You're on an active losing streak in
do
the
that.
postseason
This
too.
way we
So,
can connect with
oh,
somebody in the
okay.
returns
Make
department
it
so
past
they
the
can
first
go
round.
ahead
It's
and
Double levels. Like,
check that.
we already
on
did
the
that. Like, we
returns
already made it
department.
past the first round. Nigga. We
Never
made it
mind,
past
we can't
two.
talk.
Nigga.
We'll talk about this
Okay.
later. We'll talk about this later. Shut up.
Thanks,
Y'all trash 10th place. 10th place.
Wow. Back.
All right. Let me go watch ATL and get my lingo down.
That shit ain't gonna help, no.
Just say, ass fatter than a swamp possum with the mumps, Jordan. You'll be good.
That's my favorite line in the whole
Wait, I just want to know what Legend is drinking right now. Pause. What the fuck did you just put on this fucking
Like
tree?
for real, what's that?
Well, I figured we were starting early, so I had to go grab some Kool-Aid. And, you know, we started with tequila, so we're going to end with tequila.
Legend, you've been drinking all day. Your liver.
I was gonna say, man, wait. I thought he was already drunk.
Kari,
Oh my goodness.
let me ask you a question, Kari. Is this what you really want to do?
You know what?
Because you posted 75 and a half pair of Air Force Ones today.
I've not posted that many pairs of Air Force.
Wow.
I've not posted that
I'm
many pairs
upset
of
that
Air
he
Force.
put that pair.
Yeah.
Right.
What is a half pair of Air Force One?
Y'all know he buy baby shoes just because they cute. Y'all didn't know he do that?
I don't. I got my baby, and my baby's almost 15 years old. So I
That
don't.
ain't no baby no more.
That ain't no baby. That's a damn
That's a
baby.
grown
That's a
man.
man, bro. That's a man.
That man just made varsity for next year. So
What time shoes he wear?
Oh, that's lit.
yeah, he plays football though. He plays football. He don't play basketball. He's actually terrible at basketball. But you said what size shoes does he wear? Damn, me and him damn near same size now.
So can he wear all your Air Force Ones if he wants to?
If he wants to, he can have them. You know, that's him. That's all him.
This is
You
recorded.
really do have an
Pop's
issue.
gonna go get some more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all him if he wants to. He likes basketball shoes. It's funny, he don't play ball, but he likes basketball sneakers. Like, but he doesn't like Jordans. He likes like KD, Kyrie, like Trae Young. Like he likes players, like like real players, their shoes. So yeah, he's different though, man. He's a different kid, man. So yeah.
Oh, look at Kari blushing.
Hey man, we gotta do it for the kids, man. That's my guy.
Hey, Kari.
All right.
Hey, Kari. Can I intro it?
Yep.
Can I intro it?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured I'd let you get your shine on because you're actually in a thing. So let's do this. So guys, today we're going to talk about wear testers, which we want to start out in preface by saying I'm a fan of wear testers. I subscribe to their channel. I used to be on their Patreon. Except for I lost my link, so I just stopped being followed. But yesterday on Wear Testers, he does his digging. He does his research. He does a lot of information, and he is a vault of information from the past. However, yesterday he posted a video of the Brotherhood Jordan 1s, which I'm going for. Kari posted a video for him. He said something about toilet paper. We'll talk about that in a moment. But in the midst of doing his research, he mentioned the celebration that Michael Jordan and Shaq sometimes would do after a shot or after a dunk, and he also threw up the hooks. And we want to ask you, what do you guys think about that? Is that entitlement? Is it just other people? I'll say other people not knowing. How do you all feel about when you see stuff that's supposed to be internally black when people do it who are not members? We'll start there.
I just respect fraternities in general. Like, you're not supposed to. If you're not in it, don't talk about it. Don't do anything. Just respect it from afar and keep it pushing. That's what you gotta do. And if you do disrespect it, you better understand the whole D9 is coming for that ass. No matter what frat, what sorority, they're coming for you.
Better let them know.
And I have a white best friend that I grew up with since I was in middle school. And when I went to Norfolk State, the best HBCU in the land, he came to visit one time. And I was like, listen, before we go outside, there's a list of hand signs you should not do. I went over all of them. He said, so what happens if I do that? I said, if they come looking for you, I can't help you. I said, they're going to stroll, which means they're going to be doing their sequential line of things. Do not walk through it. Same to the band. Do not try to walk through it. Kind of let it happen. He goes, okay. And it worked, thankfully. But it's just certain things I feel like I shouldn't do. Jeff, I saw you had your hand up. What's good, bro?
Yeah, it's he should have did that because I see the tweet that Kari had shared in here, and like he had the picture of Shaq up, so there was like no need for him to do the gesture as well. And it's not even a black-white thing; it's just like even if you're black and you're not part of the particular fraternity, like you can't wear the letters, you can't do the gestures because if you didn't go through the process, then you don't have the right to do that. So it's just like he's cool. I mean, I subscribe to him as well. He knows his knowledge as far as sneakers and stuff. I think this was just poor lapse in judgment. Just somebody in this corner should have told him, yeah, you might want to, not have that in the video.
Yeah, I'm surprised that somebody didn't hit him on the side. It's not my place because I'm not Rick. Let's preface that. It wasn't my place to be like, hey, you might want to edit that and take it down. I mean, there's issues with editing and making sure that you get it posted. But you admit yourself in chef. Now the cards on the screen, I feel like I can pick with them about. When you say you shouldn't do the things, you shouldn't wear certain things. Kari, how did you feel when a non-member wore your particular fraternity's colors and or was it letters and shield?
Boosie crossed with him, so that's no, can't bring that up.
Boosie didn't do it. You know what's funny? I've been so mad about Boosie. So you even saying that is disrespectful to myself. Like, you're triggering somebody. That's insane. Like, and I've met Boosie, and Boosie is one of the most out of it niggas you'll ever meet in your life. Like, he's so oblivious to so much. Like, he don't be knowing what's going on half the time. So I can't even really blame Boosie. I blame the niggas around Boosie. Somebody should have been like, nigga, take that off. But whatever. So
I actually, Rick Ross was here. Not long after the Wingstop opened or whatever, and a bunch of the alphas went to the restaurant and they took a picture with him, and they're like holding it up, and he looking around like, wait, how do y'all do it? And he tried to do it, and one of the guys like trying to throw his hand down. And he was like, huh? Yep. And then it was like, oh, okay, I get it. Now I understand. Boosie's like, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Boosie do be keeping that damn energy. I will give him that. Like he really be like, well, who gonna whoop me about it? You know, he's Boosie, so nobody's probably gonna do it. But I'm gonna tell you like this, right? Like, because I've had a lot of dialogue. I'm not apologizing because everybody has told me to stop apologizing for things. So I'm not apologizing for anything that y'all may have seen on the timeline in the last 24 hours, going back and forth with people that felt the way about it. Look, here's my thing. I felt 50-50 about Nightwing and Wear Testers. And the reason I say that is because he was praised for doing... Okay, let me preface this as well. I'm also a fan of Nightwing and of those guys as well. I'm a fan of his. They do good stuff. Really don't like the fact that he was sponsored by Soul Savvy, but I understood that he's also getting his money. So it is what it is. And I don't even think he's sponsored by Soul Savvy anymore because he did a sponsorship with like HelloFresh and somebody else or something like that. So I'm hoping that he's not sponsored by Soul Savvy anymore. But what I will say is that for a channel and for a video that everybody is praising him for being so well studied, number one, his information was still wrong. And I'll get on that in a second. Number two, what is this on the side of my face? Number two, I don't know. I just found it really funny that the video to be so well researched, it wasn't like he couldn't do any research about not using the sign. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he couldn't do no research about like that. Like, somebody tweeted me today and they were like, I did a quick Google search and it's very easy to see that you shouldn't do the signs that other people are doing out here. Like, that's not hard to find. And I'm gonna tell you, like, Nightwing's video, it was more, listen, okay, first of all, I'm gonna brag on my damn self. I feel like my video was the shit about the Brotherhoods. That's number one. Like,
I'm gonna totally agree. I'm not trying to cut you off, but yeah, your video was fucking lit. Like, yeah.
Like, yeah, like, I mean, I just, like, I feel like certain stories should be told by certain people that really, can give insight into those stories. It was like when I did the Burning Sands video, and I did it from the perspective of a Greek, and it kind of hit different. And so, same thing with this as well. I saw Seth Fowler video, and loved Seth. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Seth has these guys are feeding the machine. They're doing what they're supposed to do as far as YouTube goes. Get a shoe, throw a video up, get your views, get your ad revenue, and keep it pushing to the next shoe. They don't give a fuck about the shoe at the end of the day. But there's certain stories and there's certain sneakers that you got to stop and you got to take a minute and really appreciate this story for what it is and tell it the right way. And then when I saw that sneakers and Nike even dropped the ball on that, I was like, oh, hell no. Like, I got to tell it the right way. But so Nightwing could have done a better job. And I know I'm going on record here by saying this, and I will say this to him if I ever talk to him. I actually low-key was kind of hoping that they pulled up tonight
because of this, but they probably won't. But you know, certain stories, you know, like I said, I just wish that he had done a little more research on, because he put in his video, and I'm gonna shut up in a second. He put in a video that Mike actually went back to school, and that's when he pledged, which was wrong. So even in his well-researched video, he was wrong. His information was not accurate. So like I actually had put a comment on there, and I think I told Anita this. I was like, yo, I need to actually take my comment down, because now that I watched the whole thing, I can't co-sign this video, because even in his research, his facts are still wrong. So personally, I think that, you know, it was a bit of a violation. He's ignorant, and I'm gonna give him a small pass because he's ignorant. What I'm not giving a pass to, and this could be the second part of this conversation for us to kind of mull over as well and discuss, is it's the people that have said it's just a hand gesture. Get over it. It's not that big of a deal. Like, that's the bigger problem that I have, bigger than Nightwing, is the people that I've been going back and forth with on the timeline. That's like, who really gives a shit? It's just a hand gesture. It's not a big deal. Like, you're getting out of shape.
Now, before we go there, because I do see I got Nate's hand, I got Sam's hand, and I got Dino's hand. I want to ask Chef, because she very rarely speaks and she has a mic. Thankfully, she accepted it. Because this kind of goes back to the Insecure episode as well, where she had on, now for Insecure, it was the shield, but it wasn't the letters. So when
she had the letters on too.
Oh, she had the letters on too. Okay, well,
and that's why people were pissed.
Right, but then you go, well, it's just acting, and is there a difference there before we get back into the hand gesture, because that's going to light the conversation on fire. So, Chef, seeing that and knowing it's just acting, is that any different than quote unquote not knowing?
I think it depends on the circumstances. So I feel like if they had gone through the proper channels to get approval from AKA, then I wouldn't have had an issue. But if I'm not mistaken, the organization came out and said that they did not give approval for that. So, you know, even in that case, I don't know why, and, you know, I won't go too deep into it, but I don't know why, especially as a group of Black people who were trying to represent Black culture accurately and with respect, would not also respect that organization enough to just say, hey, we'd like to portray this in this manner. Is that okay?
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
And for those of y'all that don't know, you know, Chef is also a Greek as well.
What is she?
Okay, I'll just be nice. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated, you know, so there's that.
I'm going to be nice.
1913 is in my bio. While I have a mic, because I have to step away, I would also just like to say I don't have an emotional connection to, you know, this as a sneaker affiliate. But I will say that I think there are certain stories that people should just leave alone, especially during Black History Month. And if you are other, then, you know, you probably could have just let a Black creator tell that story or have brought one in. And maybe the information would have been a little more accurate. But, you know, you don't have to do everything, right? Some things are sacred. Some things are meaningful to certain cultures and certain groups of people. And I just think that he should have left it alone, period.
I agree, 100%. 100%.
Fair enough.
You know, I wish that we had that. I wish that we had that in this community, in this content creator community, but everything is so damn selfish out here. You know, like, how dope would it have been if, you know, Nightwing had reached out to me and be like, yo, why don't we do a video together? Why don't we do a joint, you know, and we'll promo it and we'll put it on the page, you know, or something like that. Why don't we do a joint video? But nope.
You're giving niggas a lot of rope here.
Quick question.
From any of them.
I'm dead. But quick question. Would you have preferred someone like Nightwing, like, do the video and probably say, like, I'm not going to speak on this because I don't know much about it, but just go in, like, with the review of the shoe?
No, because then at that point he shouldn't even have done the video.
Yeah, you have to do some. You have to do the research and speak on it because of, in this particular instance, the level of connection with this particular Jordan and his frat. So I feel like if you're going to do it, you would have to do the research. But and I don't think that he did not do the research. I want to say that. I just think that it was a momentary lapse where he probably should have said, maybe I shouldn't do that. Like.
Nah, saying Jordan went back to school and pledged.
Well, but little things like that where you're inaccurate, I get those. Those happen a lot of times.
But Legend, I mean, Google is like right there, and I mean, you can even Google dumb ass questions like, "Is it okay to throw up the hooks if I'm not a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity?" Like literally, you can put that in Google, and something's going to come up. So I just feel like it was right there, and I don't know why people who claim to be experts, can't do simple tasks on the road to expertise, like using Google and just finding out if that was okay or not.
It's the caucasity.
It's the caucasity for me during Black History Month. It's giving very anti-Black.
Mercy. On one of the blackest shoes of the month. My goodness.
In fact, that might be our BHM shoe.
Yeah, that's what Kari said.
No, and that was another thing I was gonna say. Like they could have definitely made that like a Black History Month shoe if they would. Jordan, I don't know what the fuck anyone's doing at this point. They just all get me tight.
Hey Nate, what's good? I see you ready. Look at his. He ready. Look at his face.
I'm ready, man. Pistachios is dying right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm on this tequila, Terramana. Shit's very delicious, by the way. I just want to let y'all know that shit. So I saved this grievance for this very moment right here. I have an issue with niggas particularly, and by niggas I mean actually black people this time, not the all-encompassing pronoun I use for every other person that ever existed on this planet. Just niggas. I need y'all to understand, I'm not a member of the D9 neither. But for you niggas to disrespect their fraternities, for what the founding members and other members of those fraternities have done for our people is backwards as fuck, all right, first of all. And secondly, you backwards as fuck, and you need to take your ass back to school and learn you something, because if it wasn't for them niggas, your punk ass wouldn't have a right to be on the internet talking that stupid ass shit that you talking, all right? That's number one. And number two, that shit is foul. For you to disrespect people's fraternities and shit because you think it's some sort of high road to say, because I can't do, who gonna tell me not to? Like, nigga, these niggas gave you fucking rights and freedoms in this country. Niggas fought for your black ass skin to be accepted in this bitch. We still ain't accepted in this bitch like that. And you still out here acting a fucking fool, man. Y'all niggas need to take y'all ass back to a motherfucking slavery coffin, sit in that motherfucker, and lay there till you motherfucking die. Alright? That's what the fuck y'all should do. Because that shit is foul. You disrespect the motherfuckers that put their lives on the line, that died for you, so that you could disrespect them in the future. That's some punk ass bullshit. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yo, a slavery
coffin.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And that man went right back to sipping. My goodness. Wow.
Sam.
Yep.
Sam, in between work, you ready?
I'm ready before somebody calls me. When I went to college, I definitely didn't pledge Greek or anything like that. But I do work with, I want to say there's at least 5 alphas at my job. And it's definitely
cold?
A no-no.
Huh? Oh, I thought you was going to say it's definitely cold. My bad. Go ahead.
Oh, no. It's definitely a no-no to, like, you know, do the hand gestures that they're doing and things like that. I even had a friend once try to, like, jump in. And I was like, don't embarrass me out here. Do not get in there. Let them do what they're doing. And then, you know, we'll go back to drinking and partying. But it's definitely, I mean, it's not a good look. And it's just because you see Shaq do it as somebody else, like, you can't be doing it as well.
So what I want to ask you all and everybody in the chat who's on the live stream or in our comments, what I've noticed is, and I'm not going to give the excuse of being white, But if you've ever listened to like sportscasters when the cues are warming up at a game or whatever, and you'll see them go, oh, look at them doing their little dance because they don't understand it. Now, at what point do we go, he just ain't know no better? Or do we say he just didn't know no better and let it go? Or do we say he didn't know no better, somebody approach him and let him know? Or do you release the hounds? Because there's a couple different ways you can go with that.
Release the fucking hounds. These motherfuckers know.
And if they don't know,
do they though? Like
they know black culture is pop culture. Nigga, they made a whole fucking movie on this shit called Stalk the Damn Yard. They done made whole movies on this shit.
Nigga, that shit was so loosely
based. It don't matter, bro. It's loosely based, but everybody knew what the fuck everything was when they watched it, didn't you?
Hey, Jordan, I can answer your question.
Because I'm black, yes.
Man, niggas know, dog. They know. They've seen bruhs hopping for years and years and years. These niggas went to school with these same niggas. Like, it's not like the people that are in fraternities are not on their fucking campuses in the middle of their common public areas doing the shit that they do. They hold events. Like, this shit is not in the shadows. They gotta stop that bullshit.
Stop saying because they're white that they don't get it. Because these same white people that y'all talking about have their own fraternity, and they will be bothered when you do certain things well. So
they don't do things like that though.
But okay,
they don't do those things.
They just drink and haze people.
So Bree, I think you make a very valid point there. But let me ask you, because I still sometimes dabble in wrestling, and I can't think of the dude's name. To save my life, I want to say it was Apollo, but I could be wrong. Somebody correct me because I know y'all will. Every time he would win a match, as soon as he was done, hooks would go up, crowd would go wild. They be doing it in the audience because they thought it was a celebration. So when people from the outside, and again, I'm not giving anybody passes, I'm just stirring the pot here. When people from the outside see something that's done as a celebration, they go, oh, well, next time I'm celebrating, I'm doing it too. He literally, every time he would pin somebody or get a big move, hooks will go up and start barking. Guess what the crowd does? Hooks go up, start barking. Somebody, what is his name? Somebody find that for me. It's the dude that slipped when he was going into the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna find it.
Titus. It's
Titus O'Neil. There we go. I mean, every single time. Every time he would do it. So the crowd would do it, and nothing was wrong then. Because
So are we not going to teach people? I'm not saying they don't know, but are we going to teach people?
Nah,
Right,
Jordan, they know. They know. Because I wanted to answer you that point. Because I'm Greek as well. I'm not Divine Nine. And trust me, when their color, who aren't pledged, start throwing up signs because they see us throw up signs, they check their own too. So they do check their own. So yeah, they know. So I wouldn't give him a pass talking about he doesn't know because they check their own too.
I put a tweet up on the screen from Jabril Peppers back in 2016, and this was an issue back then, right? And I say, it depends on the person, but generally, even if somebody doesn't say anything on it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't bother them. And so he had to make it because people were doing the same thing. He scored a touchdown, something like that. Everybody in the crowd would want to throw the hooks up. And they got so bad that the nigga really had to tweet and be like, yay, stop it. Like, this is mad disrespectful to me and my organization. Like, I love y'all. I love my fans. I love that y'all want to support me. I get why y'all want to do it because y'all want to support me, but y'all got to understand, like, this shit is not for everybody. Like, this shit is for the people that really earn this shit. You know what I mean?
But legit, right there in the comments, the first comment literally says, was I supposed to know this? And it's a black person. And then he says, I know very little about Greek life. Didn't grow up with it. Just know I have cousins in Florida who's a Q. And then it goes, okay, your cousin has a problem with it. So we need to teach people. Like, I mean, we can't cancel people for every single thing. Like, of course, if they know, that's one thing. If they don't know, teach them. And then if they do it again, then they're dickheads.
And I'm not mad at that, right? Like, in the case of Nightwing, like I said, my thing is that YouTube, in my opinion, especially when you have listen, this is my channel with, that pales in comparison to a platform that's the size of Wear Testers. Wear Testers is over 685,000 subscribers on that channel. It's huge. So I look at YouTube as a type of journalism, personally. When you're reporting on a sneaker, when you're telling these stories, and you're literally using words like research, right? Like, to tell these stories about these sneakers. I'm not saying that you gotta be Kari, right? But at the same time, like, you should have did more than 5 seconds of fucking research looking up the sneakers. Because I'm gonna tell you what they did, right? Seth does the same thing. And again, I get it because it's their workflow. They look up sneakers app, they might do a quick Google, and that's it. They get a couple bullet notes, off to the races to go and make the videos so that they can edit it and get it up. That's it. But if you're doing any kind of research, especially on an organization like Omega Psi Phi, again, they like, fine, maybe maybe they are oblivious, Jordan. Like I hear you. They might be totally oblivious to Black Greek life. I don't know about Nightwing, no, man, because Nightwing is pretty entrenched in Black culture. But if
I'm not defending him. I'm defending randoms. Let me clarify.
That's fair. That's fair.
Also, I'm not defending the assholes who tried to like trigger you yesterday and tell you to calm down and get out of your feelings. Because at that point you were trying to teach and they weren't listening.
Also,
that's my point.
Right, and that's a whole other thing too. Right. So yeah, with Nightwing, just to tie a bow on him, like I just wish that he did more research because obviously. When you start going down the rabbit hole, like if anybody here is in any kind of organization, even like what Chef said, like even with not being D9, you could be KK Psi, you could be whatever, out here. And when you start going down the rabbit hole, like there's a lot of information out there. Like if you Google Omega Psi Phi, the internet's going to explode with results, right? So like it's on you to do your research. But to Jordan's point as well, right? Like that was also my issue is that when you do try to teach, everybody is like, nah, it's not that big of a deal. Like who cares? And like, what am I supposed to do with that? But get triggered at that point. But to like start sounding like Nate, honestly, at that point, like, man, fuck y'all niggas. Like, what are y'all talking about? Do y'all realize what I went through? Like,
and if you did,
to earn this
I would have fully understood. And that's why I said what I said yesterday to that dude who was telling you to get out of your feelings. Like legit, he's telling you right now you're being an asshole.
Yeah. And I want him to pull up tonight. I don't know if he's in here or not, but he can grab a mic too. And we can have that
fuck nigga ain't pulling up. I'll put his dumb ass in the motherfucking car. Well, that nigga ain't pulling up.
I think before we go back to him, I think that another small thing about Omega Psi Phi is, and that people probably the reason that they don't catch it automatically is because out of everyone in the D9, I'm not gonna say that because it's what I'm not sure of, but they're the only ones that actually use both of their hands when they signal and throw up their signs. Everyone else is basically using your fingers and your hands. They're the only ones that are going to get in the picture and use both hands to do anything. So I think that could probably have something to do with it because it doesn't necessarily stand out like everybody else. Everybody else, if you're using your hands, is like, you know what, maybe that's something that I probably don't know anything about because it's similar to gang signs. Not to be mean or anything, but gang signs, they use just their hands and their fingers versus Omega Psi Phi is like, well, we're going to use both these hands. And so I think that could also contribute to why when it's used as a celebration, people don't pick up on it. I think that could really have a lot to do.
Yeah, like if they're ignorant, they're ignorant. Like I can't hold someone accountable that is ignorant, right? But again, when you know better, then you're expected to do better. And there's a lot of people out here that know better, but they either want to play dumb, like they didn't know, or they just choose, to remain closed-minded about it. That's where I have a problem too, because a lot of these people, they might have been told along the way somewhere. Somebody probably used the word nigga somewhere before, but if they didn't get punched in the mouth for it, they might use it again. It don't mean that they don't know that they're not supposed to use it. They know. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they edit themselves in songs when you were around real quick.
You know what I mean? So like that's been my experience. Like, listen, man, like just like Nate, they say he went to a PWI. I went to a PWI myself. And I'm gonna tell you about going to a PWI, right? We had NPHC, National Pan-Hell, and then we had PAC, Pan-Hell. Pan-Hell was the white frats, the white sororities. They had all the money. They had the big-ass frat houses on campus. They loved leaving them big-ass, lavish-ass houses and coming partying with our ghetto asses all the time. They loved it. They knew about our culture. They knew how we got down. You know what I'm saying? Like, they knew what we did. You know what I'm saying? So, but everybody on campus knew NPAC. They knew how we got down.
They know that shit. That's why we said the broadcasters. I'm like, man, these are niggas that went to college, bro. Like, these niggas got an education. They done been out here and seen motherfuckers on campus doing this shit. They probably in fraternities. They don't claim them as loudly as black people do. But they probably in fraternities too. Like, these motherfuckers know, bro. Especially these college-educated niggas that's in the media. Like, they fucking know, man. They just be talking that shit, trying to, downplay what the fuck going on. Oh, look at the little dances. Like, come on, bro. Y'all niggas is tripping, bro.
I feel it too. Okay, yeah. Let's get to the hands. I think Luke, go ahead, bro.
Before Luke goes, hold on.
I was just hearing y'all. I understand because I totally agree because it's like it's a whole lifestyle. Like for you, Kari, when you decide to join, and for everybody that's in the D9, it's a whole lifestyle that y'all have to go through to earn that. So like for people that doesn't know about the culture, and then doing your history back, these people literally were the trailblazers that created the path for everybody for today that started out these corporations, that started out the fraternities and everything else. So for people, and especially now it's happening right on Black History Month, like I forgot, I think she's here. She said, it happened on Black History Month, and now they're coming out with the Brotherhood, but they don't know the whole entire history of it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my whole thing. It's like it's a rich history that's embedded with this. And so I would just hope that people want to sit back and get a lesson before they got to talk about it.
And then not only just that, when they were saying like people, I guess like they thought you were whatever, but they didn't understand. They started taking it personal. But I feel like they're ignorant. So because like if they say, oh, you need to calm down and stuff like that, it's like, yo, bro, do your history. And then if you understand what I had to go through to earn this, then you will understand the reason why I'm trying to I'm not trying to argue, but I'm trying to be passionate because this is what I represent. This is what I went through to get here. So it's just that like, if I'm representing a D9, I ain't gonna have nobody disrespected.
Right. Exactly.
I'm a passionately talk about it, and I'm gonna teach you the history so that way you won't be ignorant, so then you can also know about the history and tell the next person.
Bingo. Exactly. I'm here to educate, right? But I'm gonna get you right. While I'm doing that education. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that for real. Dino, what's up?
What's good? I'm not sure. I think it was Bree who had touched on it. I went to a privately white institution, and one of my homies came to visit me. Probably ain't been past the 4 blocks we grew up on, for real. And we was up there, kind of a similar situation where I kind of had to let him know, like, yo, there's some stuff we gonna go out here, some stuff you can't do, some stuff you gonna see, you just gotta keep moving. And then the signs came up. So I had to explain, like, nah, bro, it's like back home where if you from that way and you throw up that sign, that's not okay. And he had looked at me like, so gang signs, nigga? And I'm like, yeah. So like, yeah, like it's a point where you gotta kind of maybe get on the nigga level, but like I said, like I'm not sure. A couple people probably said it at this point, but like some of these niggas just be trolls for real, and you just gotta block that shit. Like as soon as I know you not hearing me and you purposely not hearing me, you getting blocked. That's all I got for niggas now.
Mm-hmm. Can I make one point? Just one point real quick.
Yep.
All gang signs are not universal. So I just want to make that point for y'all. Different sets of different shit. And a lot of it is code. So with fraternities, that shit is universal. All the colleges, across all the campuses, and all of fucking America, and probably beyond this where I can't speak about them niggas, but all of America I can. That shit is universal.
Internationally, it's the same. It's the exact same. I find my brothers in Bermuda got the exact same shit. We did the exact same ritual. We throw up the exact same sign. You know what I'm saying? As everybody else around the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's so widespread that if you still aren't hip, like, like I don't know how to help you.
So Kari, before we get to my favorite person when they speak, I got a question for you then. Since we didn't give those people credit, did you get mad at Wanye Morris when he did it? on that live show from Different Strokes? Because he looked right in the camera as he finished singing and threw a 5.
Wanye did?
Oh, nigga, the live, what is it? Different Strokes? What you talking about, Willis? They opened up the song, the show, when the Boyz II Men singing, and Wanye looked right at the camera as he was finishing, and was like, "Hey, 5." Like, I sent you the video because I was and granted, hand signs are, if they didn't mean it, but like the first topic that we're talking about, but you just go, hold on now. I think you know better.
Right. Yeah, like he should know better. Like Wanye should know better. You know what I'm saying? Like certain people, I just look at them like, nah, nigga, you know better. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know if they feel like they're in a position they can get away with it or not, but nah, like I don't care who you are. I don't care what kind of position you got. Again, I don't care if you Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, like, again, people have lost their lives just trying to earn the right to throw that sign up. Like, literally. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that people play with out here, and it's a very serious thing. So even Wanye can get it. That's what I'm saying. Who we got next? G Lee? G Lee, talk to us.
Hello, Sample Size family. How's everybody doing?
We're doing very well.
Hey, girl.
Delightful, G Lee. You are delightful.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. So I wanted to first shout out my Sora, who eloquently gave her take on the matter. Shout out to Chef Adair. In regards to Insecure, I agree with Chef about getting approval. They know that they needed approval because there was an AKA on set. So the person and the producers felt entitled to include that in one of their episodes, and I felt like that was bad judgment on their part. If you don't know, it does not hurt to ask. Time and time again, GDIs minimize the process and the rich history of Divine Nines. It is beyond disrespectful. You never know what someone has gone through. I told Kari earlier, a couple of days ago, that the bros are coming, and as they should. I believe that it is that the YouTuber that you guys were discussing is another depiction of cultural appropriation. Other races want to mimic our hairstyles, our music, and our skin tone, but do not care to acknowledge our history. I concur with providing insight that is knowledgeable about our history. And I understand that, it's their job to influence, to entice people to buy shoes, but it has to be culpability. People have to be receptive to someone providing edification. Jordan said, teach them, but I think that it is an entitlement and they do not want to be taught. If you don't understand something, you won't be receptive, point blank, period. Then some people like to compare the Divine Nines to Caucasian fraternities. Divine Nines are a lifetime commitment, so the two do not compare. If people don't understand the history, then they should have invited the bros to Nike, filmed them breaking down the history, because Nike gives all these other videos that we don't want. So give us a video that will be edifying for us to understand, so people won't minimize the process that various people in Divine Nine go through. Also, I have a question. So, was the guy in the YouTube video, was he made aware of his acts and his actions were inappropriate? If so, did he respond accordingly, like edit the video or remove the video?
He's been told. I put a comment out there, and I'm going to hit him again in the DM. But as of now, no, there's no plans to edit the video in any way.
And I think that just comes from him going, look, I did it, I posted it. This is my money. I do what I want, because he knows he did it with no malice. I think that's the thing he would be standing on in this particular instance, even when you tell him he's wrong.
Right, but you can't stand on it if you've been taught. Then you look like a dickhead.
True.
That's my point. If you tried to teach him, then he looks like an asshole for keeping it up.
So then, why he can't take it down? Then the organization should step in and just tell him, like, hey, you gotta take it down.
I agree with you, but I don't think he's ever been pressed by an organization or a gang or a group of people for real. But if people get involved, then I bet you his ass takes the shit right down.
I mean, but they can only press him but so much because they don't own it, right? Like, it's not trademarked. So what can they do? They can't send him a cease and desist. I mean, they can press him, but they can't send him a cease and desist. There's no legal ramifications to force him to take the video down because they don't theoretically own the hand gesture. You know,
you're talking legally. I'm talking.
Yeah, just like ethically and culturally. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, send the Goonies. I ain't at that at all. You know what I'm saying? by the way, G, I also just want to touch on a couple other things you said. First of all, thank you for coming through. You be like, can I just say, you're like probably one of the most concise, like, people that, like, you be coming through and you be like, ding, 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 ding. Like, these are I appreciate that.
Put that out.
For real, like, I really appreciate that. So I love, who muted everybody?
I did it by accident. It's my fault.
Okay. I love that suggestion that they should have done a behind the design on the app and done it with the cues and actually had, like, they could have got the national president. They could have got somebody, like, up there. I mean, you're Nike. Like, if y'all reach out, somebody's probably going to reach back. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe they felt like it might be a little sticky because if they actually start putting the name of the frat on things, the frat might want licensing. They might want a piece of the money. You know, I mean, these are nonprofit organizations. Every D9 org is a nonprofit organization, right? So they are looking for ways, you know what I'm saying, to be able to capitalize on their name that they own. And so once you put Omega Psi Phi, or we got the Brothers of Omega Psi Phi on the Nike app, they may be looking at this like, is there something here, you know what I'm saying, like, for us to give them permission to be able to do this. But I think that would have been amazing, honestly. I mean, I think that would have been really dope for them to do something like that, to emphasize it and to really educate. Damn, I actually really like that. Like, I'm thinking out loud now, but, like, damn, you're right. Like, we got to know some really dumbass stories about stuff that people don't care about on that app. But the one time that y'all could have told a story during Black History Month about the boss himself, his fraternity, y'all dropped the ball on that? That's wild. Like, G, you really got me thinking now. Like, I'm going to be quiet for a second, but that's wow. That's
very wild. Like, when you really think about it, it's like they don't even try. Like, bad enough y'all didn't do shit for Black History Month, but it's like you had one job, and that was to tell us shit correctly, and you didn't even do that. Like, Nike, man, this what are we gonna do, guys?
This man's bringing billions. He's bringing billions.
Yeah,
into this company, billions of dollars into this company every quarter, every year. Like,
they don't appreciate it for real. I mean, look at how they dealt with Kobe.
Right.
They don't give a fuck. They don't. Like, they're just showing. They've been showing their ass for real for the past 2 years, and now it's just starting to, like, click in all our heads. Like, yo, they are assholes. They ain't shit.
Because they don't give a fuck, because they know we're gonna keep buying the shit, and they're fucking right.
But so how is that?
When they give you a design that is so important, so vital, like a valuable piece of someone's life, and they use it to the same magnitude that they did the quote unquote atmospheres, which was really bubble gums, which they said, oh, he chewed gum all the time. Like, that's the same standard that you held that to, but it's a piece of history, it's a piece of his life, it matters to more than just him, it's important. You didn't care.
I think
they just said it's dollars.
Kari said this in this video, and it was something I was thinking as soon as I saw it. They fucked up immediately with the box. And it's because you brought up the bubblegums that reminded me. That right there could have given them all they needed. Well, I'm sorry, not all they needed. The box itself could have told a story. When I'm looking right now, I go, which one of my bubblegums? I know. I can tell by the box. A dope box for that one could have really sealed that one, at least to tell the story that they wanted to. But it was like, nah, fuck it.
Should have been a purple box, gold writing. That would have been fire.
That would have been fire. Like, they did. A matter of fact, and we know they got gold Nikes because we got the black and yellow ones. They could have just colored the box.
Bingo. Exactly. They gave us a special box for the Pollards that were about nothing, but didn't give us a special box about the Brotherhoods. It's insane.
I feel away right now. Like,
me too.
Bothering me.
Me too. Oh, we mean about this, because I'm about to say, because I'm drunk, I feel it's away too. We talking about
how is it that they can't tell? How is it that they can't? They messed up. They dropped the ball in this story, but they could tell every other story correctly.
Because it's what they want to do. Like, they obviously don't want to.
Y'all don't see nothing wrong with that, though.
No, we do. So Luke, we've been talking about this shit for the past month, for real. Like, the shit, it's numb at this point, in my eyes.
it doesn't make me that mad. I just expect it now. So, interesting turn of events, by the way, before we get to the next hand. I'm looking through my replies, and so somebody put a tweet up that said, yeah, this is ridiculous. He's literally speaking on a gesture a player made all the time. Get out your feelings. Unless you were in a frat, nobody cares. And Wear Testers liked that tweet. That's the tweet I replied to yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just the fact that Wear Testers liked it. Like that really makes me feel
Right, that means they agree. It changes the game. Yeah.
Yeah, like it means that they agree with that. I'm gonna put that.
That means they don't feel like they dropped the ball. They feel like they did the correct research, even though the basics of their statement was off. They feel like everything they said was right.
Which is exactly what I told you. These niggas know.
That's wild. That's wild that they like that tweet. Like this is literally happening. Like y'all are hearing a real reaction because that shit just happened in real time. Like I'm just seeing it right now. But like that's wild. So really they're like, yeah, like get the fuck out your feelings. Like it's a hand gesture. Like get over it. That's really what they just said.
It's because he thinks he did something with his little research thing that he did in that video.
But he was still wrong.
Right. But he feels like because he put a little bit of effort that he should be, excused in some type of way, and it's weird.
They get points.
Right, but
he was
get
still
points
wrong
for doing the correct research. Like it's really not that hard. You tried. Why you ain't like go all the way through with it?
Right.
You was there.
Oh Lord. Okay, who do we have next on the hands? Is it David next?
This is David.
Okay, David, what's up?
Hey, I just wanted to chime in on a couple comments. Like the whole thing about reporters, or not reporters, but like commentators, like seeing that, like I feel like they should either not say anything or understand more, because they see it, they're around it. Like I don't know, I think it's like guilty by ignorance almost. Like they need to understand it. So I don't know, I just feel like they need to be better about understanding all the varieties of the different cultures out there. That was my take on it. And then the second thing is like I never pledged, but I had a bunch of friends that were in sort of the big, I'm going to call it the big three, some of the original like fraternities. And I remember I was at a party. I mean, this is dating back 25 years or so. And some guys, they had a handshake that they did. And you could only do the handshake if you got initiated. So another guy's friend did the handshake, and like all of a sudden, like 4 or 5 like the bigger guys came out and just pushed this guy straight out of the house and like said he wasn't welcome back because he did a handshake. And so like I understand like what was it Drill Peppers was talking about, like it's for someone that's been initiated, that's gone through hell. I think it was Jordan that said it. They sit around and drink and haze, like spot on. Like for those people that have gone through hell, like that, it means a whole lot to them. And that's coming from sort of the opposite side of like, I'm thinking like the betas, the sigma, the beta thetas, beta theta pies, like the sigma chi's, the deeks, the teeks, like some of the older.
Like you guys had like Pikes on campus and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Pikes. They used to call them AT-Hos. Alpha. I don't know my.
Yeah, the ATO. Yeah.
Yeah, but like betas, sigma chi's. Like I can remember sitting on top of the beta. Like my friends were in beta, and the Sigma Chi house was across the street, and they had a water balloon like launcher where two people held it, and one third person pushed it back and would launch water balloons at the Sigma Chi house, and the Sigma Chi house would do the same thing. So it was, it was that fun. But if you crossed a certain line, they did not take it well.
Right. Exactly. No, so, go ahead.
I was gonna say I see that for Drill Peppers. Like I fully support and respect what he said. Like I'm 100% behind him, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
No, look, you actually. So here's the deal, David. You actually brought up a fantastic point that I actually haven't brought up yet, and that's the concept of handshakes,
right? And when you cross into this organization, you learn like I'll just give you guys like some info, right? When you cross national organization, they give you, the handshake. You can do the grip. You can do all this other type of stuff. They call it a grip for the fraternities, and it's the exact same thing, right? So putting up that hand gesture, throwing up those hooks, is the equivalent of walking up to a queue, not being in that organization, and gripping them up and doing the secret handshake. It's the equivalent of that. It's the same thing, because both of them have the same level of importance in terms of the organization itself. And let me tell you something. If he were to walk up to a queue and try to grip him up and give him and do that secret handshake with him, he got his ass beat on site. Period. Like, and it's literally, it gives people the same feeling, right? Because it's literally the same thing. Like, you can't do either one of those. Like, alphas have a grip. I wish a motherfucker would try to grip me that was perpetrating. We call him a perp out here. There's somebody that was perpetrating the frat. Like, nah, like, it's on site at that point. Period. So thank you for bringing that up, actually, because that, gives some context into why this is such a big deal. So thank you for that. Who do we have next on the hands?
It was Chef, and then it's
Chef and then
sorry,
AG.
I'm reading these comments. Chef and then AG.
Okay. All right, Chef, what's up?
Yeah, earlier somebody had joked and said that the Brotherhood was our Black History shoe. And I feel like Nike could have, since the fact that they're not.
That wasn't no joke, nigga. That was dead ass. That should have been our Black History shoe.
No, I'm saying they should have had marketed this as the Black History shoe. They should have got the actual fraternity involved with it, and then whatever their licensing fee would have been, they could have portrayed it as a donation to the fraternity and did it that way. Like, it's so they really dropped the ball on the shoe.
Not to jump in and cut you off. I do apologize.
No, go ahead.
The only problem with that is I'm not wearing a Omega branded shoe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Because if you're saying that this is an Omega shoe, well, guess what? You now can't sell it to the majority of people. Just like the T-shirts.
I got you.
You would never catch me. Like, I've been in the thrift, and you're like, why is a Greek shirt in the thrift? And you see all those memes of like where it's like a Spanish man with an AKA shirt on. That's where you run into those issues, because now if I got on the Q shoes and a Q runs up on me, I'm looking like, nigga, Nike sold me these. Well, no, you got to take them off. Well, now we got a conversation, because these was $180 after tax. So you want them.
Well, that's personal.
We got to fight, sir. We can talk about.
That's another reason why I'm passing on these shoes, because I know, even though it's not officially branded, I know unofficially what they're representing, and I'm not going to put that on my feet to be disrespectful like that. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Legend.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. Like, is that disrespectful, knowing that this is the quote unquote Omega shoe for the masses? That's a.
I mean, we all know what the shoe actually is. Like, for real, they just couldn't brand it that way. We know what the backstory is of the shoe. So now, do you feel conflicted because the light bulb went off, and you're gonna buy the shoe?
A little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, like, I wish Beetlejuice were in here, but
why isn't? Like, let me text him. Let me see where he is.
The Qs that I've talked to, it's not that deep to them. Like, the Qs that I've talked to, like, they're like, nah, like, because it doesn't have the crest or the name. Like people care about the name and that crest. Like, don't disrespect the name and the crest. The color. I mean, how many black and gold Jordans have come out? You know what I'm saying? Like
7.
A ton of black and gold Jordans have dropped. And what kind of a weirdo without now? Granted, they weren't called the Brotherhood, and they didn't specifically speak to a frat, right? But it's like, even still, it's like, I know if a shoe came out, if Michael Jordan were an alpha and a shoe came out, like, I wouldn't feel a way if I saw somebody else wearing them. Now, well, let me back up. I probably would feel a way. Let me leave that alone. Anyway, because Jordan's face just told me that I need to leave that alone. So let me leave that alone. Jordan, man, you got a big ass crib, dog. By the way, man, like that shit is huge.
No.
Anyway, it's just the angles. But anywho, so yeah, I'm kind of thinking about that now. Like when I feel conflicted about that. Like if I saw a hypebeast kid walking around in the Jordan 1 Brotherhood that I knew was modeled after Alpha, and they didn't give a fuck about the shoe for real. They're just like, yeah, here are the colors, man. There's something about a frat, something. Like I watched YouTube and people were really like, some Omega something. I don't know. I don't really care. Here's the shoe. How much is resale on StockX? Like, and that's really what the videos were. Like, would I feel away? Yeah, I'd probably feel away. I'm not gonna lie about that. But the Qs I'm talking to, they seem pretty cool about it. So,
and I think it's because of. Go ahead, Bree.
Like, isn't it? And I guess for you it could be a little different. Isn't it like when you guys do colors, like it's kind of named a specific color?
Yeah, like old gold.
Right. So I think in the case of that, for this shoe, I think it kind of makes a difference because you're gonna look at the shoe and it might be called Brotherhood. That's not the same purple. So I think that it would probably be a little bit closer and a little bit more of, okay, we feel away if the purple was the exact purple named after the Omega Sapphire purple. I think that makes a bigger difference because now some of them might be like, okay, it's cool, whatever, because they're looking at it and thinking that ain't the same purple. Why do I care?
And Beetlejuice actually said that for the record, so I'm glad you brought that up too. He was like, it's not the same color. Like their official colors are royal purple and old gold. That's their official colors. We share a color. We both share old gold. So like this shoe is university gold and light Bordeaux. It definitely is not the same color. So that's probably part of the reason why they were like, I don't care, whatever. It is what it is. So,
hey, Kari, I want to ask you. So the Qs that you've talked to about this shoe, are they interested in the shoe? Because the Qs I've talked to, they're like completely like don't even want to touch the shoe just because of the fact that the colors are nowhere near their official colors.
One person has told me that he's just not fucking with the shoe at all. Everybody else has been like, it's cool. Beetlejuice actually said the shoe was growing on him, which is funny because he was vehemently against the shoe at first. But now he said he wants it. So, yeah, like a couple of, yes, it depends. But some of the Qs are coming around. They're saying that they want them.
And from that first shoot around picture, it kind of reminds me of those colors of Jordan in that shoot around shirt. So it's not.
Exactly.
It's while it's not I guess you can say colors kind of change throughout the years where the purple gets deeper and deeper, but it ain't far from that T-shirt if we're being honest.
Exactly. And you know what? And I would bet money that picture was the inspiration behind that shoe. I would bet money on that because you're right. Those colors, and because those colors were kind of a little faded, stuff like that. Like and I think I put that in the video. I was like, this shoe looks like if you had an Omega shirt back in 1985, what it would look like today. Like that's what it looks like, and vintage is hot right now. Like they're doing vintage on everything at Nike. So if it would make a lot of sense for this shoe to look like it was vintage from 85 as well. So yeah, that's true. That's a good point. AG.
Hi guys. I have two things. The first thing is when are we going to start making people take charge of their own education and understanding of things? Because as a Black woman, I'm so tired of having to explain things to people that they can fucking Google. Whether it has to do with being Black, whether it has to do with being a woman, wherever my identity intersects with other things, it's like we are constantly having to tell others, whether it's men, whether it's non-Black people, whether it's whomever doesn't necessarily identify with what I identify with. It's like y'all are willfully being obtuse. You just are choosing not to understand. And then you claim you want to know or you want somebody to explain it to you. But then when someone explains it to you, you get attitudes and disregard the explanation. So it's like at a certain point, I just feel like it's not my responsibility anymore to try to tell anybody what anything is because fucking Google it. And then the second thing is I kind of want to charge Nike up on the education process of this, because it's like they're doing all this. I don't want to call it fake, but now it's kind of coming off as fake as DEI initiatives. And it's like, where was that with this release? It is Black History Month. It is called Brotherhood. They have that whole yard runners stuff going on where they're celebrating HBCUs. Y'all know I worked at Foot Locker, but a lot of people don't know I worked at Nike too. And we used to have these things called athlete empowerments where we could log in as employees and like do different little things. And like one of them was all about HBCUs. 1 month it was about supporting Black businesses, and they gave us like $25 gift cards to spend on Black businesses and stuff. So it's like, if you're doing all of those little things, why aren't you taking it full circle? Because this was an opportunity for that.
Especially when there are Black people at the brand. And I think that's another issue that I have as well, right? Like last time we were in here, we just got done talking about Black designers at the brand, the fact that there are Black people at Jordan Brand that are working colors and working on certain models. And so I feel like, you know, the right people should be there. I mean, listen, I know that he doesn't work there anymore, right? But I know that Frank is still in a lot of ears over there at the brand. Right, Samantha Banker. Granted, she's not a designer, but she has a lot of pull over there. You got people like Sam Baker that are from Atlanta, went to school in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like,
That's not
you know what I mean? Like Frank went to Clark. Like these people know the culture. You know what I'm saying? And so for a shoe like this, why the fuck would you not make a call and be like, yo, we thinking about doing this Brotherhood joint. Like, what do you think? You know what I'm saying? Like, can we bend your ear? You know, like something like that. Like, it's just such a ball dropped. It's such a weird. I'm sorry, I'm gonna shut up because Jordan got his hand up. What's up?
Right. Go ahead. Sorry.
People don't feel comfortable to speak up. And then when they do, I personally feel like the Black people in that building don't feel comfortable to speak up about Black culture because they're not fully backed by whatever company or whoever they work for. So they possibly could be putting themselves at risk. I know when I spoke at my old job, white people fucking hated it. And it got right back to me that I offended people because I told them how it was as a Black person working for white people, how I felt. They hated that shit. So if you're speaking, this is my take on it. If you're speaking and you really don't have if you're not backed by the right people, if you don't feel backed, you're not going to say nothing.
I get that, but then again, I feel like that goes against everything that they try to drill into you while you're there. So like working there is basically being in a cult. Like there's a whole Nike mindset situation that happens there, and it's like, if that's truly the way it is and people are afraid to speak up and stuff, then, you know, that's an even bigger bomb drop on everything that this company is trying to do or says that they stand for. And like, I understand them not branding the shoes specifically for the fraternity, but I just think with their other programming and it being Black History Month, that they really missed an opportunity to tell stories, at least through some of their other channels, on like, why are fraternities significant to Black culture, and what does this mean, and why was it even more significant for Michael Jordan? Because even the story they gave us with the shoe was watered down. So I don't know, just disappointed all the way around. I'm tired of explaining shit to people.
No, I love how you said that though, because the story itself was really watered down. Like when I read that, you know, I was thinking about working on the video anyway. When I read that description in the sneakers app, I was like, wait, what? Like, y'all didn't even get the story right. Like, it's funny. Like, the shoe execution was one thing, but y'all didn't even get the story right. Y'all didn't even get the man's legacy right, his history. Like, come on, man. So, yeah.
So, Kari, are you gonna wear the shoe?
Hell no. Hell no.
Why you yelling?
Sold that shoe. That shoe is on its way to StockX right now.
Why you yelling? That was unnecessary for you to yell at me. I was just trying to make conversation. Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
Yell at him because that was a dumbass question.
No, Legend. I have no plans of wearing that shoe.
He said really are I keep it a dumbass questions.
I keep we keep it a bucket here. Like, no, I have no plans of wearing that shoe. No.
The fact that you shipped it out that fast is amazing for you.
It's out of here. It's out of here, man. You know, I do what I need to do. Seth Fowler put him on foot. And Nightwing put him on foot, so there you go.
Are you surprised by this conversation that they put him on foot?
it doesn't mean the same thing to them. So yeah, I mean, naturally they're gonna put on foot anyway, just because it is what it is. But yeah. So there you go. But no, sir. Who we got next on the hands?
Killer.
Killer.
Killer. They really call you Killer? Yo, look at your banner photo, my G. That's how you feel?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, with Omar, yeah, that's my all-time favorite actor right there.
I like it. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Michael K. Williams. Yo, I basically agree with most of y'all, which I said. And the funny thing is, I watched Nightwing videos because, he break down shit to a tick. But when I saw that, and my stepfather is Omega, I grew up with him. He has the sign branded in his chest and on his arm, and he had the paddle and everything. So I had already hit him up about the shoe and asked him, was it something he want? And when he saw it, he was like, wait, it's not the right colors. So I thought he would want it, but nah, he wasn't even fucking with it because he was like, it's not purple. He was like, nah, it's not even the same shoe. He asked me, did they have the symbols on it or anything like that? And I told him no. So he was like, so what makes it the shoe? What makes it Omega? So I don't really think he was fucking with it like that. So, but I was going to ask. So the only thing that Nightwing basically did was he liked that, but he didn't say anything like an apology or something, anything like that.
No. And him liking
that. Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah. Then I forgot who said it, that we're so tired of educating. We have to drag his ass there because I never pledged anything like that, but I grew up in Houston. And there's certain shit you couldn't do. Like you couldn't wear a South Side or North Side shirt in the wrong hood and not get your ass beat. So for him to do that right there, like somebody said that if he did that to the wrong people, he would get his ass whooped just for doing that. But it's that tricky thing. Like he knows about shoes, but he doesn't know the culture. And like you guys said, maybe if Nike explained it better. But let me ask you guys this right here. Do you think they didn't make it a purple because it would have been looking like a Lakers shoe or something like that?
No,
I think a lot of people.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say because I saw a lot of people saying they wanted this shoe because it was a Lakers shoe. Like even what was it, Unbreakable Kicks? He put it up to his Kobe Bryant jersey, saying like a lot of people are looking at the shoe like, oh, okay, I can wear this with my Kobe's.
Man, that was a fumble, by the way. I'm gonna go on record. I'm choosing violence tonight, but fuck it. That was a fumble, man. Shame on Unbreakable Kicks for the way that he presented this sneaker because that nigga's a Sigma. And he's D9. And being D9, like, he literally was just like, oh, yeah, y'all, I'm a part of the greatest fan in the world. And then he, like, went on and was like, yeah, so look at these next to the Kobe. These look like Lakers joints. Like, I was like, nigga, do you, like, hello? Like, do you not realize, like, this is you. This is your culture. This is what you pledged for. This is your moment to shine. And he's just like, yeah, y'all, but the Laker jersey? Anyway, fuck it. Anyway, that's a personal grief. The colors, though, I don't think it really had to do with the Lakers joints. People talked about the shot at LA's. They compared it to different sneakers that have dropped. But I truly do feel like the reason why they put it out there is because I think they wanted to vintage the Omega colors. I truly feel I don't have confirmation of that. That may be a Mr. Unloved One's question, right? But I really feel like, because the colors look so faded, they look so washed out. And that's the thing that got to me. You know what I mean? Like, Nike is intentional with their colors. Like, they're really, really intentional with their colors. If they want a bright-ass red, if they want a team red as opposed to a challenge red, as opposed to a this kind of red, they're very intentional with their colors. So with them choosing that more faded, kind of washed out purple and gold, I really felt like they were just trying to vintage the traditional Omega colors. They were trying to pay homage to those colors, but just in a different kind of a way.
What's the outsole color on that? Is it white or is it cream?
Outsole is gold, my brother.
I'm sorry. Midsole, excuse me. My bad.
The midsole is white.
White, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a good point too. The midsole isn't aged, so it is a white midsole.
Okay.
I don't know, Killer. That's a good question though. That's a really good question. But that's how I personally felt about it. I felt like they have. Do you know what picture we're talking about, Killer? With him shooting around in the Omega shirt? Is he still on the stage, or did we lose him? Oh, we lost him. Okay, he's trying to come back up now. All right, I'll give him a second to come back up. But
I think it was yesterday with his wife when he was talking. Well, I had it planned, but I didn't see him do it. I saw the picture with him doing it with Shaq and everything like that. I heard him talking about it, but I actually see him do it until I looked at the picture. And when I saw him do it, I was like, oh shit, he gonna be in trouble. Because my stepfather used to tell me that all the time, like, you don't do that. You know, but he was Omega. He would say, like, that would get you stomped right there. And I see where you said that he liked it and said it was just a hand gesture. And it was just like, yo, like, seriously, people telling you, like, yo, this is offensive of something that you don't know about. You'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. My bad. But instead, it's like, oh, nah, y'all making a big deal out of nothing. So, yeah, drag it.
Yeah, and that's what's, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but, like, that's what's making me feel away, I think, right now, is the fact that he knows better now. He's been, I'm sure that he's had people in his ear like, hey, man, you getting some flack because, I mean, I'm not even going to say I'm really that important and hot to trot, but I'm sure that because people like Mess, I'm sure somebody's going to him at this point and be like, hey, man, Kari on Twitter, he been talking about you. I'm sure of it, right? So he knows better by now. And he just doubled down like, I don't give a fuck. And I think that's a major violation. So, anyway, y'all gonna get me fired up in here tonight, man.
But then when somebody slaps him up, he's gonna play victim.
You know, I mean, it's the way of America.
Nita, please.
You know, Nita be with the violence. I'm gonna wait for her to be violent all night.
I'm just.
She's too calm right now.
No, baby, go and get your mask. Don't find that mask now.
Do you feel?
What?
Do you feel like Jordan gonna come out with like some brotherhood merch? Because knowing that like certain stuff like is not supposed to come out, but you think they might come out with something like that?
No,
I think they would have said it by now. Plus, what's gonna go on it? Imagine them put out some merch and it has a Thunderbolt or something up there. They asking for shit.
Also, do you think Jordan has any? Well, he should have knowledge about the story that they put out, which is not necessarily true, right? Like how do we feel about that? Like, does he know? Is my question. For him to be like, nah, like, yeah, I got this wrong type shit.
Key, ask that question one more time. I'm sorry, I was looking at some comments. Say it one more time.
Fuck, what did I just say? I said, do you think Jordan like knows like them putting out, you know, the description of like what the shoe is about and it's not necessarily true? Like, do you think he like knows like where he could be like, nah, like, yeah, I kind of got this wrong type shit? Like,
no, I don't
like,
think.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I heard somebody say that he approves like all the colorways or like the drops at the brand. But as far as like copywriting, like that's a whole different job, I think. And I don't think like he's involved with that part of the process when it comes to rolling out product. But, you know, honestly, that's why I made the video, because I was like, you know, hopefully somebody somewhere sees it. And that's why I put that specific clip on my Instagram, because I do know there's a couple people from Jordan Brand that do follow me on there. So it's like, okay, maybe somebody can see something and talk to somebody somewhere, because Mr. Unloved does it, and he's done it multiple times. We've seen him do it. Like, he points something out that's wrong, and all of a sudden, the sneakers app will update the verbiage on a shoe. You know what I mean? So that was my hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my, I don't know, because, you know, who knows who watches my stuff? I don't know, but no, I don't think that he even realized that, to be honest.
And that's the problem now, because I'm ready to choose violence. I'm sorry, I'm about to take this to a little. Stop playing with Kari, yo. Like, he put too much like research, and he really be giving y'all the facts, and y'all niggas just be ignoring shit at this point. It's starting to get me tight. Like, I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Key, since we're choosing this kind of violence tonight. You know what I learned? I was having this conversation the other day about Quinta Brunson, about Abbott Elementary. And we were talking about the difference between her and Issa Rae. And we were talking about how that must have felt for Quinta, who was really grinding. Like, if you follow her career, you know, Quinta has been out here really trying to grind, really trying to get it for a long time. Mm-hmm. During that time, she was trying to get it. Issa Rae was skyrocketing out here. You know what I mean? And I remember something that I heard from Kevin Hart one time. Kevin was like, "There's a problem in Hollywood where you can't have two of a black person. You can't have two. There can't be Kevin Hart and another blockbuster superstar black comedian, right? You can't have a Quinta Brunson and an Issa Rae at the same time. Issa's show got canceled and declined, and now Quinta's on the come up, you know? And I'm going to keep it a buck. You can't have a Jacques and a Kari at the same time in this industry. You can't. So what I see in a lot of spaces that I'm in, and in a lot of, you know, conversations that I'm a part of, they see me, they see the skills, but at the same time, it's like, but we got that already. We have our non-problematic black man that doesn't curse on camera, that's brand friendly. We have that already. And then when he decides not to do this anymore, then maybe we'll start bringing Kari into some bigger things. Now, granted, I got great friends in the industry that are like, nah, fuck that. We're going to put you on this campaign and that campaign. Love to all those people that have done that. But I know what time it is, you know? And that's not a dig at Jacques. So anybody listen, I think there's 100 people in here. That is not a dig at Jacques. Jacques is doing his thing and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. I've worked with Jacques before. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. But from an industry perspective, there can't be two of us, period. Now, there can be a Steph and a Fomer and a Nightwing and a this and a that and a that and a that. That's fine.
Speak on it.
But there can't be two. There can't be two black men that are well-spoken, that enunciate, that look brand friendly. They just can't. Period.
You know what?
No matter how good the videos are.
Go to the next hand because I'm about to get violent and I don't want to get like that. So go to the next hand, please.
So does that mean I shouldn't start cussing and making up words?
No, you should
check it out. Yeah, get violent. No, I think she.
Say what you gotta say.
Agree.
Get it out. Get it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say it's bullshit, and I'm sick of it. And that's what I'm gonna say, because if I really start talking, people are not gonna like me, and I'm trying to stay calm. I've been drinking tonight. I'm trying to stay.
We get it.
I'm trying to stay calm. So.
No, we don't.
Fuck them niggas, man.
We lit tonight.
Nate.
Fuck them niggas, man.
Nate influenced me. You an influencer for real, Nate.
I want that Terramana, baby. Hey, tell the rappers
It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour.
Hey, you did exactly that Kevin Hart comment that.
But it's so unfortunate that has to happen like that, though, because, like, for you, Kari, you can really use this platform to change the black community and across the whole entire, probably even the world. If you, like, I mean, it's sad but true that what you said, but it's just like, yo, man, I would just say, fuck it, do you, because you got something going, man.
Thanks. Yeah, and that's what we're gonna do, man. You know, we're gonna keep on hitting niggas over the head with this information. You know, we just kick down doors. That's all. You know, but I get it. I get the politics. Listen, like, y'all gotta understand, I just came from a situation that ended up turning very public, that was deeply rooted in politics and red tape and bureaucracy out here. You know what I mean? So, like, and it's like I've got enough skin in the game to understand that, you know, there's games played behind the scenes, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, fuck it, we just gonna keep on doing what we do, you know? So we're not slowing down. Appreciate that. So who we have next on the hands while y'all toasting one another on the video?
we got KC.
KC.
First, hold on, before you go, KC, don't be trying to downplay us, Kari, just because, you know, we don't have vegan vodka right now, and you don't want to join
let
us.
me ask a question. Nita, why the hell you got a mask on? You all right?
I was trying to ignore that, goddamn.
Don't worry about that. Just don't worry about nothing.
Okay.
Let him rock. Just let my girl rock.
No, follow directions, no problem.
We got KC, then we got Isaiah. So KC, what's good?
I hope you guys can hear me.
We can.
Really enjoyed the show, the space. It's like what everyone's been saying. It's willful ignorance. It's doing the bare minimum when it comes to minorities or the global majority. It's the same thing when universities and schools do land acknowledgements for indigenous people. Like, this is yours, it belongs to you, but we're going to keep it, so fuck you. They could do better. They won't do better. They could have told the story. They could have incorporated Black people, and they just chose not to. That's honestly it.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah. By the way, there is a comment on the video. I just want to make sure. So there's a Q in here, and he said, "What you know about them hooks?" And he said, "It's a lot to it now," but then he said, "It's a must cop, especially for the frat Omega Psi Phi to the day I die." So I mean, it's kind of like, you know, bro kind of gave him a pass. It was like he mentioned the hooks, but he was just like, eh.
There's a lot of people on that video giving that man a pass.
A lot.
A lot.
When you got 685,000 subscribers, you can do that. Listen, clout runs everything out here. I think that's my problem with the misinformation, and that's why I made the video that I made. Is because if Seth says something, it's gold. If Nightwing says something, it's gold. Right? Like, period. Nobody's gonna question that. Do you know how many sneakers? You know how many fucking sneakers I've had people question me on because they said, "You're not Seth Fowler. You're not Jacques. You're not this person. You only got 20,000 subscribers on your channel. You're not Seth. You're not Jacques. Like, how could you get your hands on this?" Like, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. It's numbers. That's it. Period.
Fuck all of that bullshit. You know what? At this point, I'm gonna say it. Let the New York in me say it. Suck my dick, nigga.
There it is.
Yes. Yes. One more time. I just need you to do it one more time with the hands. I got you. Suck my dick, nigga. Fuck.
Wow.
That shit really does hit differently.
Yo, dead ass.
There's a way they hit the D on the word dick.
Hey, yo.
It's the way they hit the D.
Hey, yo. You went back? You went back for the D twice?
We got what you meant. Why are y'all like this? Wait a minute. First of all, y'all not gonna do this to me. First of all, damn it, I can't mute y'all, man. Fuck. No, I can't mute y'all. Damn. The way you hit the D, you know what? Okay, you know what? First of all.
But then he went back for more. No.
Sorry.
He was like, "You didn't hear me. The D."
Accountability for your actions, my God.
You gotta take accountability. Accountability is an. And Nate tried to stop. Nate gotta give him that right now. He tried to stop. He's about to get you. He tried to stop.
Hey, yo, the bad part is, for those who are not on the live stream, he was using hand signals. He was like, what they don't understand about the D. Like, he was like, Kari.
Look, the point remains.
Don't do it, Kari.
I'm not saying it again.
Please don't say nothing else. Don't say it again. Because I was just about to say, I'm gonna send you invoice to you gotta get the invoice. I'm gonna inbox you your invoice.
You know what? I should have just let Key have that. Key, you got it, and I appreciate you saying that. I really do.
The way they hit the D,
you know what?
Yo, that shit was wild.
That's crazy, boy. You keeping Frost Funeral Homes in motherfucking business, boy. Cause your ass is a coffin spelled with a K for your ass. Boy, that shit crazy.
You know what? It was bad.
Let me know when it's finished in the warehouse, Nate. I got you.
It was bound to happen.
Coffin fetish got to get the fuck out.
It was bad. It was my time. My time was coming. It was a matter of time.
Yeah, because you said something earlier about the grip when you was talking about whatever,
and
I was like,
we let that one go.
Having moments all night. I'm giving myself a pass for that because grip is an actual word that niggas use in the frets. That's a real thing out here.
We know, but we childish. That's what you fail to understand. We know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. Shit.
Who's next?
Isaiah, what's going on, homie? How you?
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Not too much, good
so I've been listening to this. I've been listening to the space for a minute, and I get what y'all saying with the angle. I never really looked at it like that because. So, just a little background. I'm in college right now, and I got two siblings also in college who are also Greek. And from what I was hearing from the people they knew, they were just happy that they were getting the shoe. They were happy they got something dedicated to them. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know what? That's cool by Nike, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought we were taking a step with them back in Kaepernick and all the anthem protests and whatnot. But now that I'm hearing about the misinformation about Michael Jordan's story, and I'm seeing people throw up the signal, whatever, and people and black people being okay with it, I'm a little disappointed, not gonna lie. They could have done a better job with the shoe because I'm not Greek, but I know that's not the purple. It's not really close to the purple at all. So I just wanted to express some disappointment in there.
For real, man, you know, you share our sentiments tonight. You really do. Like, the misinformation in itself was a major problem, you know, and then it's just everything else on top of this, you know, and like I said, with them doubling down on the fact that they were like, it's not a big deal, the people pacifying it, you know, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. You know, it's deeper. And I think that's the thing about it, right? Because this is bigger than Greeks, right? Like, this is something that Black people face often from non-people of color.
Well, yeah, not to cut you off. I was binge watching the new Game season today, and there was an episode where a white lady cut off Tasha's daughter's hair in a match, and the lady acted like the shit was like normal, and they went to the salon, and one of the ladies was like, "It's just hair," and I'm sitting there like boiling, like, no, nigga, that's our crown. Like, you don't play with Black hair. You don't play with anyone's hair at that. And that shit actually happened in real life. Like, the shit we go through on a day-to-day basis is fucking nuts. But that's why it doesn't surprise me that people are giving people passes right now with the disrespect to the frat. Because you could say the N-word and somebody would be like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a word. Or you could get racially profiled by cops and they were like, oh, they were just doing their job. No, stop passing our trauma over. Yeah, like, it's fucking annoying. Not to cut you off, sorry.
I agree.
It's weird how I watched the episode and now we're talking about this. It's fucking
Yep. No, I agree. I totally agree with what you said, man. If y'all saw, I had a what did the guy call it? A Carlton versus Will conversation on the timeline yesterday. You know, and
by the way, we don't know what that motherfucker looks like either. That shit could have been really fucking disrespectful if he was of a fair complexion.
I don't know what he looks like. But, you know, I can only take him at his word. But he said in there, you know, he was like, you know, basically the same thing that Jordan was saying. And I was like, okay. I was like, so if somebody called you a nigga straight to your face, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do? And he was like, oh, well, I'm just going to walk away. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's you.
So let me jump in here. Since we talking about the nigga word, I grew up and my mother was military. I lived in Barboursville, West Virginia. Let me tell you a little bit about Barboursville, West Virginia. You probably never heard of it. There's a place right next to it called Huntington, West Virginia, where Marshall University is. Marshall University, love that school, by the way. I got called a nigga so many times. I was in 12 fights in school, suspended for none of them. Why? Because the principal understood they all started with the nigga word. And it's just one of those things where you call me a nigga. Have y'all seen that video where dude got slapped like 17 times?
It was fucking beautiful.
Hey, listen, he earned every slap. And it's just one of those things. Hey, you can call me nigga if you want to. But I guess, and that kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, Kari, about somebody, you know, come up to you, you know, and trying to do the handshake or throwing the hooks. At that point, gloves are off. You gonna catch whatever comes to you.
Listen, you getting a lot of smoke. I mean, don't just.
That was the craziest comment that I heard the whole time. I have never in my life heard somebody say that they would be willfully disrespected and do absolutely nothing and wear that shit as a badge of honor. But that ain't the weakest fucking thing I ever seen in my life. I don't know what it is.
Crazy. No Black person's actually saying that, bro. No Black person saying you can call me a nigger and get away with it. That person's white behind that abbey.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Man, it couldn't be me. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Wouldn't be me. That's
who we got next on the hands? We got Killer or Chef? Who's next?
It was Chef and then it's Killer.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, I was wondering. I wonder how Michael Jordan feels about everything surrounding and leading up to the release of this shoe. Because we all know that Greeks, when it comes to the colors, the letters, the gestures, everything surrounding their fraternity or sorority, they hold that very sacred and near and dear to their hearts. And so I wonder how he feels about it not really getting the respect that it should, saying that it's literally the fraternity that he crossed. I wonder how he feels about this.
I mean, it is the fraternity he crossed, but the other side of it is he's making money off of this. At some point, I believe that people get to a point where they go, they're gonna buy it, and I'm going to make millions. And again, if we go back to our original comment earlier, that color may be okay to him. There's a lot of older Greeks, and I'll use Q's for example, who don't throw the hooks because the hooks, I guess, and I don't know the history, so before somebody tries to correct me, don't, because it's not gonna go nowhere. Some of my older friends who are Q's, it was just a fist. Or they won't throw it up in the air. They'll put their arm straight out. So it's completely different. So he may look at it as that was the color back then. Or that was the color that I remember. So that's the color I'm rocking with. So he may really not give a fuck because also I'm a billionaire or millionaire. I'm going to keep making money off you niggas.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think Legend is onto something there. Like, at the end of the day, I think you get to a point where green is a color that you see more than you see black or white, and or even purple and gold. And, you know, I think ultimately, I mean, listen, this is the same guy, right? Like, what was that infamous quote when he wouldn't endorse that politician in Chicago?
Republicans buy sneakers too.
Bingo.
That's it right there.
And that was in the 80s, my nigga. Like, that was in the 90s or the 90s, something like that. Back when. So it's like, if he felt that way back then, multiply that times how rich that man is now, how wealthy that man is now, and it is what it is. Like, I don't care if you hate Omega Psi Phi. I don't care. Like, their money spends too, just like everybody else's money spends. So he probably doesn't really care much, honestly, especially because it doesn't have any official insignia on it. You know, like, that's really a big thing. Like, for me, you can wear black and gold all day, and you can call your black and gold brotherhood all day. If you want to, that's on you. But just don't wear my letters. Don't wear my shield. Like, that's where I got the issue. So
nah, I got you.
And the year card.
I mean, even the year, somebody may call it, may wear a black and gold shirt and say the 1906 World's Fair. I don't give a fuck. But just don't wear a Phi 8 or that crest, and we Gucci. That's it. So, all right, who else we got?
It was Killer, then we got Luke.
Killer.
Hey, what's up? I'm gonna jump off and switch back to listen after I say this. You just said two real things that I just wanted to comment on. When you brought up the whole Kevin Hart situation, I remember Chris Tucker talked about that same situation. He was like, Hollywood said they only want one black person at the moment, especially, and he was talking about comedy because he was at first it was Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, Martin, then him, then Kevin Hart and everything like that. So when you brought up that Issa Rae and Quinta, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And you said something else about how nobody questioned wear testers, and I subscribe to a lot of YouTube sneakers. Like, in fact, I'm seeing a couple of people in this room right now just subscribe to their channel too, because I like to see different points of views and things like that. And there's many times where I see people doing shoe reviews and things like that, and when they don't want to get too technical, I've heard from Mike Rich and Tony Wild, like, they'll just say, oh, just go to wear testers, just if you want to get more of a breakdown. Like that, basically just saying, like, making his, whatever he say is law, because, you know, he got the subscribers and everything like that. And that makes this situation all the more fucked up, because it's going to be people that look at that and say, oh, okay, if he did it, then it's cool for me to do that shit too. So I'm going to wear the shoe and do that right there because Shaq did it. Or, you know, Shaq did it while celebrating and thinking that shit is fly.
Right.
But then something happened to him, you know, like, oh, okay, well, they didn't educate themselves. You know, it's not like you're not going to wear a red flag in a certain neighborhood or something, you know, something like that. So that's all I wanted to say.
No, glad you said that. You hit on a very, very, very good point, actually. He's an influencer, right? This man, again, over 685,000 subscribers on his channel. This man has influence. And the majority of people that are watching sneaker YouTube videos right now are young millennial or Generation Z males, boys, right? And so they see him doing this stuff and they may think, oh, that's okay, I can do that too. And so now this 15, 16-year-old kid sees some cues one day out and remember that, oh, that's the thing that Nightwing did in his video. Hey, what's up, guys? And he does it and gets his ass beat to the white meat. And it's like, wait a minute, what just happened? I don't know what happened. Like, with great power comes great responsibility, right? You don't get to being that large.
All right, Spider-Man ass nigga. I see you.
You feel me?
Ben. I see you, Uncle Ben.
You feel me?
I see you.
I'm going somewhere with this. Like, you don't like. He has a lot of responsibility, and there comes accountability with that responsibility. And my issue here is that the accountability has been lacking. It's like, oh well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Like y'all are in your feelings, but it's like no, like you're influencing a lot of people out here. And here's the thing too, right? I'm gonna keep it above. Wear Testers is not a history channel, right? Like everybody on YouTube has a thing that they do, like especially if they're bigger out here. Like Wear Testers, the reason why a lot of people go to Nightwing's channel is because he knows his technical aspects of that sneaker like the back of his hand. He's gonna tell you what the Durabuck was made out of, where it was manufactured, the Phylon and the midsole, and the history of the Phylon. Like he knows his technical specs like nobody else out here. When it comes to history, that's not his wheelhouse. Like I understand because people knew there was historical significance to the shoes, so they attempted a little bit of history. But it's like this is just one of those times where it's like if you're gonna go in, go all the way in, like Leslie said, or leave it alone. Just talk tech, you know, and just leave it be. So yeah, great point.
I just need to jump in here really quickly. For those of you watching the live stream, I want y'all to understand we're listening to the chat and wondering why we're losing our shit. Text messages.
No.
I just want them to know that we're not laughing at them because you'll get people who get offended. Like I'm trying to be real with y'all. Like y'all laughing. We're laughing at something totally different. I just want to throw that out there for future reference.
Hold on, Nate. Where the fuck you get fruit from, nigga? You DoorDash that shit?
Well, let me tell you something, Jordan. One of the good things about being in a relationship sometimes.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead. Who's next?
Wow. I do have a question.
Go
right?
ahead, JD.
And so
you got the floor.
Here it goes, right? So when you have like celebrities, like sports stars, right, doing these hand gestures and these symbols, right? Like they can do it because they've earned it, clearly, right? In the cases where they have. But when you see fans emulating them, who's really responsible for that? Because when you have people like, celebrating and Aaron Rodgers doing the discount double check and all his supporters do it too because they love him and they're celebrating with him. They're not mocking him. They do it because they love him, right? So when someone emulates Shaq and like Shaq is doing it and maybe he earned it, like you can debate all that kind of stuff later, right? But when his fans emulate it, like, who's responsible for that? Like, is it really the fan, or is that person who is of that fraternity using it in a willful way because they know that they're going to be emulated by people who love and support them?
Well, that's something.
So if it doesn't also come with a lesson, like, what are we really saying here?
Okay, I'm gonna say this like this. I grew up in the 90s. I love Snoop. When he was performing, he used to throw up the seat. My grandmother told me, "Don't throw that shit up. Don't throw that shit up. Don't." Like, so it's certain stuff where you have to be educated and certain stuff you have to know better. Some things are not for you.
Right.
But
That's
your
just
grandmother
reality.
knew that, right? But if you're talking about a stadium with 80,000 people in it, right, watching a football game, and then someone does this, not everybody has the sensibility and the knowledge of your wonderful grandmother.
So JD,
They're in Inglewood, JD.
Well, no, but hold on.
Man,
Hold on. Before y'all get him. So the thing is, JD, I think you make a super valid point because that's something that I said earlier. It falls on a little bit of both. Because we were talking about the wrestler earlier who threw up the hooks, and every time he got excited, the crowd did the same. Who's wrong in that instance? Just like you said, I feel like, to me, if you're going to do that as a celebration, and there's a picture that Kari put up that says one of the football players said, "Hey, I'm doing this. Please don't emulate me when you're celebrating with me." It takes a little bit of knowledge on both sides. Maybe is it wrong to say, "Hey, you shouldn't throw up your frat sign when you get excited"? I don't think that that's wrong. You should want to celebrate how you celebrate, but also people who are doing the same have to understand if you get caught doing the same thing, it may have repercussions. There are certain things you have to look it up. Should I do this? Why did this person do that? Why are they celebrating? What does that mean? Before I just start willy-nilly and like Killer was saying, throwing up the C's or crip walking or wearing a certain color, wearing a certain T-shirt. You know not to wear that T-shirt. Or why do you know not to wear that T-shirt? Oh, because I shouldn't. Well, you probably shouldn't do the sign either. It comes in.
Like, and to piggyback off Leslie, he's right? So like, here's the deal: who's responsible, right? At the end of the day, I think I said this at the beginning of the space. I've said this on the timeline, and I'll say this all day long when it comes to Nightwing. I'm not going to get on you for being ignorant. Now, ignorant might be debatable.
Different people may feel different ways about who's really ignorant out here. But I'm not going to get on you for not knowing, right? Because I would want that same grace extended to me, So if they truly don't understand, if they're just watching Nightwing's video and they see him do it, they're like, oh, that's cool. That's really cool. I want to do that too. I'm not going to be like, nah, man, you shouldn't. Like, nah. But what I will say is I'm going to take that as an educational moment, just like I would do with Nightwing, just like I would do with anybody else. And you're not ignorant anymore, right? It's like being a parent talking to your kid. I'm going to tell you one time, like, This is this, and this is why this is so important, and this is important to these people over here. And I'm going to give you that educational moment. And once you've had that educational moment, you are no longer ignorant to that thing, period. I'm going to give you one pass for being ignorant, and it's fine. But once you're no longer ignorant to it, and you continue to do it, now you're playing in my face. Now we got a problem, because I've told you already. And that's my issue here, right? And so, like I said, that's my only issue with even with Nightwing, is the fact that he knows, right? Like, he knows now. Like, even when he filmed the video, he might have been ignorant. That's fine. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't think Nate always does, but I give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying?
We know Nate doesn't. We know he doesn't.
He does,
man. Nah, y'all gotta stop that shit. Stop giving people the benefit of the doubt, man. Motherfuckers know better, man. Everybody, niggas is not raised to be this fucking ignorant, man. We are in the age of technology and information. These motherfuckers is not this fucking ignorant. You can't get that pass no more. Not at my age, and not for nobody no fucking younger. These niggas know, man. Stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. Smack the fuck out these niggas for disrespect.
Nate, now that actually makes perfect sense. With all of the internet available to us, we can look recipes up like this. We can look up the things that we should and should not do. So actually,
but you gotta look it up. You got to look it up.
But in this instance, let's go back to what we're talking about though. In this instance, looking up was being done. You don't know all of this information about MJ and the school and pronouncing the Omega Psi Phi correctly. You don't know all of this without looking it up. That's not information you had in your back pocket. So looking up was done. So, and sometimes, and y'all know Nate is the bodyguard. I'm on Nate's side. Sometimes you got to slap the shit out of somebody to make them understand that you're not to be fucked with. And this is, and like you said, after you've given them the information, which you're going to give it to him, Nate's not going to give it to him. You got one time to fuck up.
But to Nate's point, the information is available. So if you want to call yourself a journalist and if you want to tell this story, tell it right. And if you want to do the research, do the fucking research, right? And once you've done the research, now you're no longer ignorant. So on principle, I gotta drag your ass.
And y'all know I love me some principles. That's the only way I behave, is strictly on principle.
And he actually makes a lot of sense in this instance, because it is, somebody just said, all the information is available on Al Gore's internet. And it truly is. We be in meetings sometimes, and I just be like, I don't know the answer to that, let me Google it. It really takes 2 seconds to do at this point. So, again, I'm a fan of his. I'm not, and I don't want to act like I'm not. I'm still subscribed to him. I hope he gets it right. I hope he says something maybe in the next video. But there is the more that we talk about it, you just go, it was right there. You know not to put on the military uniform.
Y'all watching white people's YouTubes during Black History Month?
First of all,
really, Jordan. That's crazy. Really, Jordan. That's crazy. This is the worst. Really, Jordan. It's crazy.
Never.
It's crazy.
First of all, I watched Car's video. I watched Car's video as soon as he posted it, though.
I know, I saw it, but you also never mind. We ain't gonna.
Okay, we'll talk about
it. We ain't gonna do that.
Yes, Nita.
Do you remember when we were talking about like his wife mispronouncing it too, and then like joking about it, and like
they
could have easily edited that out, but they kept it in there because they think it's a joke. They think it's all a joke.
That's what it is. It's because honestly, it's
a joke. Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke to a lot of people.
Until somebody gets hurt.
Right.
Then, like you said,
until they get slapped up, and then they're a victim.
And then they're a victim. And then they're a victim. Yep.
Yeah, that reminds me of what. None of us ain't getting shit at this point. And that's okay, because I'm black, I'm motherfucking die, nigga. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit.
Nigga, y'all, the way you say nigga is, I love it. It's so perfect.
Nigga. Okay, Trinidad, you better.
Why are we like this, yo?
Pop Smoke one time, you know?
Hold on, because I know y'all saw my video on my timeline. Like, me and my mother be getting it. Like, don't ever play with me. Like, are you dumb?
You know what video I did see on my timeline? All of them Jordans that you posted, but we'll talk about that another day.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, Mr. I'm gonna sell my collection. We're not doing that.
Definitely are. She put up a fire ass reel of all her Jordan 1s.
Anyway, back to the subject.
I need everybody to go to her Instagram
And like that.
and also her Twitter and run them views up.
All the way up.
It's okay.
That was flames.
That's how we do this here.
And then after
my
that,
God.
Legend needs to start lying.
What's your IG?
Ooh, Legend, you lying?
It's the same name. Key's Instagram is the same Kitty or something.
All right, can we stop now? Can we like go into Oliver? I think Oliver has his hands up. Hey.
We got Oliver in here. Oliver, what's good, bro?
Yo, what's up? What's up? Good evening, everyone. One first, obviously, I feel like Kari, I feel like you're giving Wear Testers a little bit too much grace in saying that you didn't know. I think if you're acknowledging first of all, 06 to the breast, because Kari and I are both Greek, so we like understand this differently. And as far as like to JD's point, as far as discount, it's just not the same. Like discount double check and throwing up Greek signs is not the same. The alternate name of this shoe is Sons of Blood and Thunder. And it's like, well, who calls themselves Sons of Blood and Thunder? Omega Psi Phi. And it's like, okay, if I understand Omega Psi Phi, these Greek organizations throw up these signs. I feel like I'm willing to give people passes for alphas. Like people who throw up the Phi, context is everything. They throw up like kind of the Phi. It could be hang 10, depending on the context. I feel like I'm a lot more lenient to give people a pass for throwing up the Phi if they're not black and they're not in a black setting. Like they probably don't mean to disrespect the frat. But throwing up hooks is so clearly, blatantly. There's only one set of people walking the face of the earth that throw up hooks. Like nobody else does that. So I think Kari, you're being very lenient in the grace that you're giving him. I feel when you're comparing throwing up a historically black Greek organization's set, I'm calling it set, we're calling it sign, right? Comparing to like a discount double check or throwing up the peace sign or whatever, like any other like signifier for any other athlete or entertainer, it's completely different because most of the time that entertainer or that athlete is doing something that is void of the history that is assigned to black Greek, organizations choosing the signs that we choose to throw up. So I feel like he entirely knew if Kari, you're saying he did the research on the sneaker, he knows his stuff when he talks about sneakers, and you can look up and see that the alternate name of this is Sons of Blood and Thunder. You knew what you were doing. He knew what he was doing.
So if I'm allowed to respond, Oliver, right? I think we misunderstand each other. And so I'm not saying that they're not different. I understand that they're fundamentally different, right? In a wide variety of ways. Like one is completely unimportant and one has like supreme value in the community, right? But what I'm saying is to ascribe that understanding to 80,000 people sitting in a stadium, like that's irrational. So like you can choose to be irrational or you can choose to not be irrational, right? Like you can educate them. But if 80,000 people emulate Aaron Rodgers, he has no one to blame but himself. And if 80,000 people imitate Jabril Peppers, he has no one to blame but himself until they come to understand him.
Wait, hold on. Can you run that back?
Sure. So if I am a football player, right, and I make a touchdown and I celebrate, and my home crowd sees my celebration, they may not all know what it means, but they want to love me and celebrate with me. So they do, right? Now, once they come to understand that they shouldn't, then they should never, ever do it again. But you can't cry when you did that the first time. You can get upset the second time because now your fans know better. But the first time, if they do it out of emulation and love, like how can you get upset with them for celebrating with you for your celebration if they may not know? Like you can't tell every group of 80,000 people, you must know the cultural history of every single black signature move. But yeah, he can educate them, which he did.
I get what you're saying.
And so that's what I'm saying. You said the whole discount double check thing, like saying that's not what I was saying. So let's just clear that up real quick.
I get what you're saying. I was more stuck on when you said Snoop doing his crip walking shit in Inglewood.
I never said that.
That wasn't him that said that.
I never said that.
Whoever said, and I just
No, that was me that's saying like.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't people up. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Sure.
No, but JD, so that's a good point that you raised, right? So I wanna kind of bring that back. And Oliver again, 06 to the good brothers. If y'all don't know,
Hey, 06, brother.
is a frat brother of mine. He's a member of Alpha Phi Alpha as well. And, so to your point, right? Like what I was saying earlier, is that everybody has a voice on YouTube, right? And everybody has what I believe is their strong suit. History is not Nightwing's strong suit. It never has been. He's never claimed for it to be. Matter of fact, even in the video, he was literally reading off his phone. Like, it was like he was literally reading, like, sneakers and, like, some dumb shit. Like, whatever he was reading, he was, like, reading it off of his phone. You know what I mean? So, like, with that, I understand that history is not his strong suit. But they knew that there was some history in the shoot. Now, the reason why I say what I say is because I don't know, right? Like, I don't know for sure. I can't back it up with factual knowledge. I don't know how deep his studies went. I don't know if Nightwing has ever come across the disrespectful nature of throwing up the hooks in the video. And I'm going to tell you like this. A lot of people got a lot of good things to say about Nightwing. Nightwing keeps himself out of a lot of trouble. He's been on YouTube for a long time, and he has evaded all drama. You really haven't heard about that. And being in this culture for this long of a time and evading drama, you gotta know how to move. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, like my point I'm saying is that because I can't prove that, like we can assume all that we want, like, nah, he knew better, but I can't prove that. So like, because I can't prove that he knew better, it's hard to be like, nah, man, nah, fuck that. Like, no, because he stumbles through the history in the video. If you watch the video, he literally is stumbling through the history like he's reading it real time. Like, he's not tight with his info, like you can tell. And so it's like, maybe he didn't come across that because it seems like that day that he filmed was the first time he came across, honestly, Omega Psi Phi at all in any kind of depth. You know what I'm saying? So to go beyond the surface information of Omega Psi Phi, goes a little bit deeper as far as, the impact of doing certain things. That takes a little deeper study. These are YouTubers. They're not going that deep into their study. They're just not, because they got to do more. Like Nightwing got 20 fucking videos that he's got to do. He's got to record. He's going to take this, get a little bit of info, boom, knock it out. And then he already on the next 2-3 videos. He don't care that much about the history. And I think that's the problem. But the problem is that he's been educated now. He's been educated since that video came out. So yeah, to your point, you and I are 100% aligned, my brother. He has been educated. I'm very sure that at this point, he's caught wind of the conversation that's been had across Twitter and across YouTube at this point. He knows that he should have did better. And he doubled down by liking that tweet by saying it's just a hand gesture. Y'all need to get out your feelings. Now I got a problem. With that, because now that removed any doubt. Any doubt is now removed. Like at the time when he filmed the video, we don't know. But now all doubt is removed. So I got a problem.
So somebody said, and I don't know this to be true, sorry, Oliver, that Nightwing's Wear Tester's account is not run by him. I don't know whether this is true or not. Again, not trying.
It's not.
What is
he has his own Twitter.
Why are there the scheme? All right, you know what? Thank you.
What is going on?
I was gonna add that I feel like, as far as to the point, thank you for first of all clarifying, JD. I think when I think about like if you do it in a stadium full of like 80,000 people, like I don't think that gives license to be able to just do it. Like, some things are just not for. And again, I can understand in the moment, like, okay, cool, like maybe you just don't know, you just want to throw it up. I find it hard to believe, particularly in the context of a football stadium. For example, the photo of Jabril Peppers at Michigan. I would find it very hard to believe that a fair amount of those students did not at least have some level of contact with a Black Greek letter organization, specifically at a PWI. Specifically, since they like to use us on the front cover of every diversity initiative, every welcome to student event, like we've done all of that. So the idea that these folk have had some level of exposure. We've done enough work over a period for most organizations are over 100 years old. There's been some level of exposure to these organizations. I would find it very hard to believe that in your entire life, you have not seen somebody, at least in this context, fill up the hooks at least once. You haven't seen somebody roll their neck in public at least once. Even if you didn't know what you were looking at, you didn't realize what you were looking at, you've probably seen it at least once. If you have had any level of exposure to Black culture. So I don't think necessarily you see something, oh, I want to emulate it. Like before I went Greek and I saw Greek people strolling, my idea was not, oh, let me go emulate. You know, they're all wearing the same colors, doing the same thing. Let me just, no. It's not. No.
No, I agree with that. And here's the deal, right? And Oliver, you know, like, again, you know, being exposed to these environments, you know that there's also confidence in numbers, right? Like there's power in numbers. So at the end of the day, you know, I know this is going to sound extreme, but like, if I'm a racist, right? Or if I want to use the N-word, if I want to say nigga or something like that, it's different if I'm in a room full of Black people and I'm white and I want to say it, than if I'm in a very large crowd of people where probably nothing's really going to happen to me, you know, and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people, when they did that, to your point, I agree. I definitely think that there were some part of that 80,000 that knew they shouldn't be doing that. But it's 80,000 people. So, like, what the fuck is Jabril Peppers going to do to me? Nothing. You know? So they just do it. You know? So, you know, there it is. Yeah. Touche. Good point. Very good point, actually, Oliver. I appreciate that.
Now, I will say the only thing that I disagree with, I think he said you don't want to emulate it. When I went to school, my freshman year, before I knew better, you would see that necro, you'd be like, hey, that look kind of fun. Or you would see the
Damn, I used to shimmy all the time. I thought that was the coolest shit. I went to cap it so bad.
And let me tell you,
bro, I used to do it all the time. Do not say this in public.
But what I'm saying is, like, you would see, like, KK is what we have at least at Norfolk State. They got the best strolls in the world to me. So you would see that, you'd be like, wait till I get back to my room. Think I'm not? But I'm also not gonna let nobody see me do it, because once you know better, you're like, they're not finna see me do it.
Right, exactly.
Side note, Kari, do y'all do Bone Crusher down there? I'm just curious. It just popped into my mind.
Do we do Bone Crusher down here?
Okay, that's a no then. Cool.
I've never heard of it.
Like the rap.
Oliver, have you? Yeah, Never Scared.
Yeah, I was really about to sing the song right now, but I'm not sure.
I know who he is, but I was like, is that like a troll?
Yeah, I'll send you the video.
Yeah, okay. Kari, you're Alabama, or you're from another state?
I'm Alabama, good brother. Spring 07.
Yeah, I've never heard out here in Florida. I've never heard of Bone Crusher. No.
Yeah, that's different.
Florida's a whole different continent, though. So I told him
compared to Alabama,
continent, Florida being different. Y'all niggas.
You never watched 106 in Park?
A continent, really?
They're different out there, bro.
Florida, listen, I road trip to Florida back in the day. Florida bros are good bros. They're good people.
I did too, and I got the most expensive ticket driving to Florida. But still,
but whatever the fuck you call them, they can't drive, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh my goodness.
Oliver, do you call people jit?
Yeah, jits. We call them jits out here.
Just making sure, my good brother.
You know it,
man. Jordan and his love for like different dialects, regional dialects. For instance, the Canadians.
I try
Canadian, New York.
I try to respect all cultures, man. I really like to be informed about a lot of shit.
Yeah, we call them. They feel disrespectful. Yeah, jit is a gender neutral. For the people that don't know, a jit is a gender neutral term referring to pretty much any type of person, and sometimes things, but mostly people.
Is that like John? Like Philly?
Yeah, it's like John, Mo, like
Mo, definitely Mo. Yeah.
We call people Mo in St. Louis.
Exactly. Mo's a St. Louis and Baltimore thing.
Yeah, we call people Mo out there.
Let's not do the St. Louis Baltimore thing again. You know, Kari got mad at us.
I'm sorry.
About Air Force.
Let me tell you something. I listen. I want a round two on that smoke. Listen, because let me tell y'all something, Kari.
You've been burnt already, Nick.
Listen,
don't do it to yourself.
1999 to 2001,
Oh my God.
St. Louis influenced the fucking. I said what I said. I said what I said. I said what I said.
I love you, but please. We're not doing this again, Carly.
Change the face of football. We can have a conversation another day.
Wait, what?
Really wearing Timbs? Sorry,
He's indeed wearing Tim's stuff to basketball.
Oh yeah. All-Star. Listen, I said I was gonna let y'all off because of All-Star, man.
Keep the conversation. Listen. Killer, what you got, bro?
No, we gotta.
We want it down tonight.
We want it down.
No, I was just gonna say this about I know what JD talking about, everything like that. I was just gonna bring up, y'all reminded me of the whole situation of two former Jordan Jumpmen, Darius Miles and Q Richardson. I remember when they used to celebrate, they used to do that head knock on their head, and I remember I think it was Dan Marley, he was playing for the Miami Heat at the time. He had hit a 3 in their face, and he had did the celebration. And Q wanted to, hit him. Q wanted to fight him.
Q wanted all the smoke, baby.
Because Q was like, you don't know what the reason we could do that. He said that could be one of our dead homies, anything, because they never explained what it meant. So he was like, he wanted to fight him at that moment because he was like, why are you being disrespectful? And that's the thing. I understand what JD's saying, but like the other guy said, it's too much. You have too much stuff available for you to look it up. Like Fox News, they went on the internet and looked up WAP just to be like, oh, okay, it means wet ass. Oh, okay, all right, we don't like this. Like, come on, like Dave Chappelle said, if they would have had the internet back when Ski came out, that would have never been on the radio because they would have been like, oh my God, that's what it means. But yet they didn't know.
It's so disrespectful.
Right.
Nasty word. No, that's real. But again, right, when you learn better, you do better. Right? He was ignorant, so maybe they gave him a pass for being ignorant. But again, they checked his ass. Now that we didn't check you.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Because my girlfriend's dad, he's actually Omega, the frat or whatever, and he said, she said, by the sounds of it, not to be funny, not even as being an asshole, he doesn't seem sorry about it. I watched his video, and the people are giving him a pass. Black people. My dad will be pissed. Her dad is an Omega. I'm just saying. That's what she said.
She's right. She's absolutely right. Especially the old school Omegas. They wouldn't go for that. Period. Like,
and I was thinking that earlier. Like, I think that over time we've gotten kind of lenient with certain things. Shut up. I think we've gotten
you got to put it to your face.
lenient.
Oh, there we go. Good job. We can hear you now.
With certain things, like nowadays, like okay, for example, one of my neighbors is an Omega. One of my other neighbors was like, "Yeah, I used to want to do that for all the like cool stuff, like the wear the paraphernalia, so like the strobe, like that's all I wanted to do it for, blah blah." And he said that he educated him on why it wasn't okay and everything like that. But for this shoe or whatever, he probably was like, whatever. Like I'm kind of cool. Like he's laid back like that. But I feel like the older people who have done this, they might take it as a form of mockery. And that's where it's not okay. Like, even if you're not saying, you're like, oh, we're honoring it. Well, you're not doing it the right way. You do that. And if this is the route that you're going to take, if you're going to do it right. Honor it. History out there, leave the background out there, because without it, it means you're not honoring it. You're just putting a picture up, basically. You're not saying anything, and it's not signifying anything. It doesn't mean anything to the people who have devoted their lives to it. So that's why they should have done the story. As for the individual who decided, oh, I'm just going to make a YouTube video, I'm going to have to do my research. That's like, God forbid I don't mean any harm. That's like something happening to someone in his family and saying, okay, well, y'all, this happened up the street, and that was my cousin. And we think it's wrong. Well, the moment somebody gets on Facebook and tells you a half-told story, you're upset because it's wrong, because no one did their research. They don't have the facts. It's the same thing because this person has devoted their life to this organization. Why would you have to do it? So I'm kind of agreeing with everybody else. They don't deserve the pass because you didn't do the proper research. If you're not going to do your true due diligence, don't do it at all.
Preach. And that's how I feel, especially for the way that I do my videos. Like, I really try to get to the bottom of whatever I'm talking about. Like, I really want to be well versed in it. NFTs, you know, whatever it is that I'm talking about, I try my best to be well versed in it. You know, so I wish that other people took the same approach. But Bree, I'll be honest with you, you know, in the world of YouTube, like I said, they just trying to crank them videos out and get them views and get that ad revenue. That's it. You know, like ultimately, you know, like, yeah, they like shoes, but I think somebody, I forget who said it, but somebody was like, yeah, he likes shoes, but I don't really know if he's for the culture like that. You know, he's a hooper at the end of the day. You know, like, and Nightwing is a hooper, and he's a hooper through and through. I'll give him that. But like the cultural aspect, I don't know. You don't really hear much from him on the cultural side of the house, you know? So I don't know. But this was a misstep, I think, for him. Who do we have? Jonathan?
Yeah, for sure. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, good evening, everybody. I mean, I think the one thing that kind of always was pointed out, but Car Cassidy, I mean, I think the reality of it is, you know, to us, you know, especially, well, I can't say us because not everybody here is black, but to me, you know, shit like that means something. Like, I would never, first of all, hand gestures and stuff like that, just in my neighborhood, if I see any type of movement, gesture, whatever the fuck, I'm going to ask somebody, what is that, before I even contemplate even thinking of throwing up anything or doing anything, because I just know in our culture in general, there's gestures all the time, there's phrases all the time that if you don't know it and you say it, you can and will get fucked up for doing it. That's number one. But I think also, again, with the Car Cassidy, it's like, we're talking about a black frat. To, you know, to black people or people in that culture, it means something. You know, you either have family, you've heard about it historically, you've heard about it. But to a lot of people that aren't from there, it don't mean shit to them. And it's never going to mean shit to them. And you're right. I think they do have to be checked, because otherwise it's going to be like, oh, that's just some funky frat for some group of people that I don't really necessarily care about or know about. And I was going to say to the one piece where they were saying that wear testers liked that tweet, not necessarily Nightwing. I did see that Nightwing did comment on something where someone had mentioned how there's even footage of Kobe throwing up the hooks back when he was like a rookie in the NBA. And I just
during the dunk contest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Nightwing,
right after a dunk contest.
Yeah, Nightwing was like, yeah, Kobe even threw it up, and I've been a fan of his forever.
That's true.
And he didn't go to college, and so I wonder what's your thought, some of your guys' thoughts on that, because yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Kobe fan, and yeah, like I said, I've never thrown up the hooks because I actually know people that are in frats, and I've had family that are in frats, so I would never fucking do it. But I did recommend that. But I did remember that, like, yeah, Kobe did throw that shit up. And I don't know what his affiliation is with it.
Mm-hmm.
God rest his soul, but he was wrong for that too.
You want to know?
God rest his soul. That's where I'm leaving it. Just leaving it there.
No, I mean, God
rest his soul. He was wrong.
Exactly. That's why I'm not speaking on the dead. God rest his soul.
No, I mean, here's the deal. Did you ever see them do it a second time?
No.
I rest my case.
There you go.
I agree, but I also think that, like I said, again, I've never thrown it up, but I can see somebody that doesn't know shit about it. I mean, his stance on the fact that Kobe, you know, threw it up. I wonder if anybody's, you know, would mention that to him, like, just because Kobe threw it up, you probably should.
I'm sure somebody's
do the culture of it.
Right, and that's why.
I was talking about Nightwing. No, I wasn't even mentioning Kobe. Like I said, R.I.P. Kobe and all that. I'm sure. Shit, he played with Shaq. I'm sure somebody fucking pulled him to the side and told him, like, what the fuck are you doing? No, I was just talking about Nightwing. Like, again, you know, to a lot of these people, unfortunately, our culture don't mean that much to them, and I mean black culture. So it's like, that's why he can easily say, oh, it's just a hand gesture. Or it's just like, nah, dude, it's not just a hand gesture, but to them, a lot of our shit don't matter.
Nobody's gonna press Nightwing because he's popping.
But question, Kari, I guess I was thinking that too. The Weird Testers Twitter page, is that Nightwing running it, or is it just Weird Testers?
From what I've heard, he doesn't run the Twitter account.
Yeah, there's a team of them. So it's Nightwing, it's his wife. They also have many affiliates that, you know, they're right for WeirdTesters.com. So it could be any of them, and maybe that person is just tired of getting tweeted about it, and they're like, you know what?
I'm gonna tell you,
But that makes that's not an excuse. That makes him look worse.
He's accountable. He's accountable for whatever that page endorses. He's accountable for that.
Very true. My hands are up. I'm safe. Don't shoot.
No, I'm with you. I was just wondering. Okay, I'm putting my mask back on.
No, you're good. But no, but to Jonathan's point, right? So yeah, I mean, I nobody is really pressing Nightwing up. I think I probably, and the people in here, of course, I mean, because ain't nobody really scared of nobody up in here on this stage. But outside of here, like especially on something like YouTube, especially with viewers and stuff like that, ain't nobody gonna press those guys like that because they're big, they're popping. Half the people that watch their videos want to be them. They want to be in that position. They want to just be their friend or to be acknowledged even one day, just to get a response to their comment one day. So they don't want to do anything that could potentially jeopardize that. Because we're in a society right now full of opportunists, so people will compromise their morals, their ethics, their beliefs, whatever, if it means they can get close to somebody that's popping, period. And so nobody's going to press I'll press them. Like I said, I hope that he pulled up here today so we could have this dialogue man to man.
But it's not even a press. At the end of the day, it's just you educating someone like what you should and should not do when it comes down to stuff that you don't know what you're talking about. So it's not even a press. There's not no beef shit. It's just like, this is what this means to us and, to us as Black people in a fraternity, and you shouldn't do this because of X, Y, and Z. It's not even a press. I don't want people running out here like, oh, he said he's going to press Nightwing. That's not what he's saying. So I just want to put that out there.
No, facts. Thank you for clarifying that. No, I'm not saying I'm trying to press him. I'm not saying that I'm beefing with him. I'm not saying anything like that. Again, I'm a fan of I started out tonight saying that I'm a fan of his channel. I think he does some superb reviews. I think that he's dope. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate his channel. I think this was a misstep. We've all been there. We've all had missteps. My thing is that I just hope that he takes accountability for the misstep because Lord knows when I take a misstep, the whole fucking YouTube goes in my throat about it.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo.
So
that's another pause moment, Kari. What's going on tonight, bro? They going at your throat?
No, he said
that's a reach.
He said in their throat, in his throat, not on his throat. Okay.
I said they come at my throat.
That's not. This is recorded.
That's a reach.
No.
I gave y'all the first one. That's a
reach.
The first one. This is the third one.
Oh Lord, let's see how y'all are doing me tonight, man. All these coffins.
No, I just think it's funny that if they disrespect us, they don't see an issue with it. But if we talk shit on like an IPA or some fucking Jägermeister, or some Coors Light,
not an IPA.
Some beer. They're mad as shit. So it's like respect cultures. That's the way I look at it.
I agree.
Respect each other, and then nobody has an issue. But key to your point, there's no pressing until it gets to the point of disrespect. In my eyes, that's where I feel like
ego is a thing here too, Jordan. Right? Like ego is a thing, and so I think that's when it starts to become a thing because I could easily go to him and be like, "Hey, man, listen, on behalf of this, this is just, like, don't do that. Like this, blah, blah, blah. It was a misstep. I get it. It is what it is, whatever." Like I said, now the reason why that was off the table for me was because of the endorsement of the tweet that said it wasn't a big deal. So for me, I'm like, okay, he doesn't even get that out of me at this point because now you've doubled down, right? So I can't even have that cordiality in me with you at this point. Now I got to approach you more aggressively, like, nah, but like you really violated. I don't fuck with this, period.
I agree.
You know what I mean? But nah, like again, it's not on no beef shit or nothing like that. It just is what it is, man. But again, a lot of YouTubers got a lot of ego. Black, white, purple. A lot of YouTubers, especially these big guys, man, they got a lot of ego on them. Especially, and they don't want some little ass Jacques wannabe, quote unquote, trying to put them in their place when they got 6, 7, 800,000 fucking subscribers on their channel. These guys, like it just is what it is. It's a real thing. I've been to sneaker cons. If y'all have ever been to a sneaker con where YouTubers are, you know exactly what I mean. And I'm gonna just leave it there. But folk be acting Hollywood out here, and it's weird.
But I'm gonna leave it there.
And really these weaves in real life though.
Wait, hold on. You talking about the same guy that went
Not
to
dweebs.
sneaker con with shoes that didn't release for 2 years and the matching shorts? We talking about that Hollywood guy?
That Hollywood guy. Yeah, that Hollywood guy. So, but yeah, no, it just is what it is. So my hope, and again, I haven't had a dialogue with him. I am going to leave a comment. I'm going to revise my comment. I'm going to leave a comment directly on the video. Now, it has been disputed that sometimes comments get removed from the channel that are negative.
We know that happens.
I'm going to just, it is what it is. But I'm going to have an educational moment on that video, and what they do with it is what they do with it. But, again, nobody's going to press them because everybody's like, hey, man, you're great. You're perfect. Great video. Da-da-da-da. And then I'll put a video about the same fucking shoe, and they be like, hey, man, fuck you. You're not no Mega. What you doing talking about this shoe? You're not Steph. Like, oh, all right. Guess he's the only person that can talk about an Omega shoe. So, anyway, I'm off that.
But that's because you stole his size 9, so that's another reason why.
I did get a size 9.
That's your fault for doing that. You should have waited until Seth got his and done things to...
You just told that nigga to sit in the back of the bus, not cars.
You're good, bro. I almost
not
said
during
something.
Black History Month.
Exactly.
Sit in the back of the bus. Lord.
Exactly. I almost said something, but I'm going to wait until we are no longer broadcasting this.
I understand.
Why are y'all like this?
I understand.
Anyway.
Black History Month has been a lot.
All right, hit the button this time.
Yeah, so
it's been a lot of rah-rah.
It's been a
In
lot.
fact, the highlight of Black History Month, honestly, is Kanye going at P1. Number 2 is that white dude getting slapped up at whatever restaurant that was. That was a win for all niggas. All niggas.
That was a Fridays. That looked like a Fridays.
That was a highlight.
No,
That
not
was a
Fridays.
highlight. Yeah, that was a highlight. I'm with that.
I tell you now, if you call me the N-word, I'm beating bricks off of you and I'm spitting on you. I'm doing everything that you think that I won't do to you, because don't ever in your life play in my face. Are you dumb?
Damn. You gonna spit on him?
Spit on him. I don't give a fuck at that point.
I'm talking about like you gonna know it's coming because it got to come from the back of the throat.
Big on it.
But yeah, that's
a free. It's gotta come from where?
That's why I stopped. She ain't got a pause.
No, she can say these things.
Okay.
No
Hey.
Not free. Don't act like you ain't been saying shit all night. I can't wait till Jay goes back and pull these clips because this shit's gonna hit the timeline. Like,
please come.
I can't wait.
Oh, Jay got screenshots already.
Oh,
please don't do it with my shot, guys. Like,
you know that more than fuck.
You already know that's gonna be a screenshot.
That was wild. Listen, I want to let y'all have y'all Saturday night back and be able to chill, watch what's left of All Star in peace. I want to thank you guys for being part of this conversation. I want to thank you guys for continuing to rock with Sample Size. Listen, we have 3 more shows left before the Twitter Spark program is officially over. And that means, there may potentially be some changes to Sample Size, but we're going out with a bang, just so y'all know. We got Ladies Night coming up next Saturday night. And the ladies don't know this, but the reason why y'all maybe haven't seen me really say much is because I'm not bringing guests to this ladies night. I want it to be the ladies of Sample Size. I want it to be community night for the women that are in here, for the women that pull up, for the women that have supported Sample Size since its inception in the last 3 months. And so that night is really, really for y'all. We love, of course, all of the women, all the influencers that came through, and of course they're welcome to come back. But this time, I really wanted to be for y'all because y'all have been dealing with our dumbasses all this time. And so I want y'all to have a night for y'all. Have ladies' night. Drink. Do whatever you do. Have a great-ass time. Talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. And we're going to leave the stage for the ladies next week. Ladies in the audience, come up and have a good-ass time next week. We just going to be on that vibe. After that, I'm trying to do something. I believe we're going to make it happen. Probably we're supposed to do it tonight. I think we're going to do it probably for the last Sample Size. Tentatively, Soul Retriever, right? They've signed on. So tentatively, we got something cooking with them, and I want to go out with a bang and do the last Sample Size of the Spark program, which is on the 28th, actually, the last day of Black History Month. We're going to do something really, really, really special for everybody that's been rocking with Sample Size. So more to come on that.
But man, this is incredible. Like we're doing a bit of a countdown, man. But this is incredible. Thank y'all, everybody on this stage, everybody on this video stream, for continuing to just be here. I love each and every one of y'all, even when y'all try to put my ass in a coffin. So there's
you
that.
put yourself in a coffin.
We did not
That's
try.
fair. Yeah, we didn't try. You did it to yourself.
They tried. He did.
No. I did not try. Your ass is in a coffin. You are there.
Three times over.
No, I mean he tried to save me from being in the coffin. That's what
I did.
Oh, you mean when you went back with a D twice?
Oh, why you doing it?
You know what? Anyway, any last thoughts? Any last thoughts on the stage this evening for me?
Yeah, if you black, it's Black History Month. Be black. Be black every day, damn it. If you're not black, support blacks. Love us. Cherish us. Respect us. That's all I got to say.
Hey, but do you turn red when you get angry?
I turn very... Nah, actually, it's more like a rose color, actually.
Are you not really be politically correct right now?
No, because I just said, I know what he was doing, dickhead. I hate you. I hate you, guys.
I just want to say, because, I try to be very political when I'm on this, but tonight I really did not give a fuck. But everything that we said what we said. You know what I mean? Like, we're not doing the rah-rah anymore. Like, I'm very disappointed in a lot of shit, but I'm going to just leave it as that. Just know we said what we said, and we stick by it, period.
And speaking of disappointment, I am most disappointed in you niggas who disrespect the black fraternities and whatever they choose to do with their hands or with the sounds or what the fuck that they say for the enjoyment of fucking disrespecting them. Y'all some weak ass niggas. Y'all deserve to be put in a motherfucking coffin. Stop disrespecting motherfuckers that went through hell to make sure that we can exist as we are today. You hoe ass niggas.
How are you supposed to go after that? Like, I just...
There you
go. Oh, wow.
And you know what I noticed one thing before I go? Every time Jordan, and Kari do not have a cut, sample size goes off the rails. I don't know what it is about those weeks where everybody needs to shape up. But anyway, if you're watching a live stream, you know already that most of us are already wearing our masks, protecting our brothers, protecting our sisters. But also, like Jordan said, let's just enjoy Black History Month. Don't forget the Black History Month Kicks of the Day challenge. It's still going on. It's still going strong. I've seen some fire pictures all month long. Y'all have been killing it. I know Jolisa appreciates it. And we're out.
Good night, everybody.
Wear your mask.
This Adidas mask, by the way.
Wow.
Oh, wait.
We still live.